Good morning, Radical Rafter. How the hell are you? Good morning. Oh my God, it's a lazy, hazy, crazy day of summer. Just thought, like Labor Day weekend is like 2 weeks away. Like, you know what I mean? That's fine with me, man. This past week in St. Louis, fuck me. Oh God. Makes me not miss my days down in Texas, because it was Texas hot. It was only really the whole summer's been really kind of nice. It hasn't been bad, not brutally fucking hot all the time. But God, last week, it's like, Jesus. It was pretty rough, boys. Pretty rough. Tom Laundry is here. Good morning. I got my coffee this morning, so we might have to graduate to brewskis eventually. But hey, it's only 7:30 Central Time, United States of America. Arisaga. Domo. Arigato. Arisaga. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Hope everything's good for you guys. I figured out the perfect solution to the fruit fly problem. If you have a fruit you can do it, hamster. You just use your tongue and lips correctly. The fruit flies. Yes, because once in a while I'll get a banana in here. It's got a couple flies, you know what I'm saying? And if that banana gets a little brown, those flies start flying all over the place. You get a big fucking cloud of them in here. And what do? Well, yeah, you could use apple cider vinegar works. Charzenoble is here. Apple cider vinegar. Beer. They're pretty. They like beer. You could use red wine vinegar. That works too. But I've got something. I've got something. It's an absolute guarantee. They will flock to this shit and they will drown in this glorious liquid. Now, the way you do it, of course, you put a drop of dishwashing fluid in there, because apparently that breaks the surface tension of the water, or whatever that means, right? Some science and shit. I don't know. Do that, and those suckers will dive right in. It's beautiful. Even the later generations, because I think fruit flies, they have a new generation in like 3 days, right? It's really fast. And so one would expect, if Darwin works, that the ones that survive either aren't tempted by the magical fluid you put out in the jar or whatever. It doesn't matter. Even the ones that are immune to it, they can't help themselves. So send me $49.95 a month and I'll take in my Discord. Kidding. It works really well, though. And you can buy it. Comes in a can. And it kind of looks like beer, but tastes like shit. Fruit flies love it, though. Love, 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 love. Fruit flies, asshole. Thank you, Arasaga. That was funny. All right. So what are we going to do? I don't know. I was just kind of poking around the interwebs for some stuff. And I ran across this one woman who I'm not gonna put her on the air here. I mean, she seems all right? But she's very anti-Mormon. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Really, really. She used to be in the church and then got out of the church. And she's not some, raging street hoe or anything like that, right? But she just doesn't like the whole Latter-day Saints thing. And I mean, I can only speak from my own experience. All the Latter-day Saints people I've ever met are real decent people. Good, clean-cut young men and women. They go do their mission. They have to do a mission for, a year or two, probably. I met some of these guys, really, really good. I mean, if that's what the kind of young people they're bringing up in the Latter-day Saints church, I agree with it. Maybe we should all become Mormons because they seem like really good people. But hamster, what about the one guy? Yeah, there's always going to be some freak shows that try to associate themselves with a religion. Every religion has had them. I'm sure there's bad eggs in Latter-day Saints, but I mean, for the most part, seems like they're doing it right. So believe, oh my God, it's religion and Jesus and stuff and Joseph Smith. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever they're doing, they're turning out good young people. So, and this woman is no exception. Nice looking girl, fit, healthy, good mind on her head, educated, wasn't a hoe, I mean, there's a lot of positives there, guys, a lot of positives. So it seems like maybe, the Latter-day Saints are bringing up their kids the way, I don't know, other Christian churches used to, 50 years ago. Godfather of Ramadi, good morning, sir. Are you having some brewskis for breakfast? I'm having coffee. I know. You're just, oh my God, you're a stick in the mud, hamster. You're just not, you're no more fun anymore. Oh my God. I know. Excuse me 1 second. I got it. Because it's, why, just hit the mute button. Well, the fucking mute button, it's hard to, okay, there it is. There, you happy now? Okay, so I have a selection of low-hanging fruit videos, and I thought we'd just sit here and go through them while I'm drinking my coffee. I mean, it's early Sunday. I think we were going to do something with Seraphim. I don't know if we're going to do that today, but me and Brandon and Seraphim, we're going to do a stream on ether and black holes and shit, stuff like that. Science-y stuff, She blinded me with science. So, let's see who's the first one here. I was just looking at, this looks good. I don't know. Is this GB News maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it's GB News UK. Okay.
The two Conservative leadership hopefuls have unveiled their new plans to clamp down on crime and sexual harassment.
Okay, well, I mean, that sounds good. Yeah, yes. Let's clamp down on crime and sexual harassment. Absolutely. There is nobody that's going to disagree that anyone walking down the street shouldn't be harassed. Perfect. Yeah. How you implement that, though, is, well, that's the kind of where the sticky wicket comes into play. Would you rather, because we do have a choice. We have limited, finite resources, right? Whether, the government just prints more money, right? The point is, we only have so many police officers. Do we want police officers to prevent and investigate criminal activity, rape, harassment, all that, assault? Or do we want them arresting construction workers because they whistled at a hot-looking chick? I mean, it's a binary choice. You don't get both, right? Got limited resources. Okay, go ahead.
Rishi Sunak pledged to make down blousing illegal. That's where someone takes a photo down a woman's top without her consent.
Okay, did you guys hear that? I've never heard of this before. This is from a couple of years ago. Because Sunak, I think, is long gone, right? As being.
The leadership hopefuls have unveiled their new plans to clamp down on crime and sexual harassment. Okay. Rishi Sunak pledged to make down blousing illegal. That's where someone takes a photo down a woman's top without her consent.
Okay. That sounds bad. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's fucking creepy as fuck, right? Why would you do that? But I was thinking it's not necessarily the why would you do that? Well, obviously because you're a creepy fuck. But how would you do that? You got these guys running around like, I don't know, in London or whatever with cameras, and they run up to chicks and take pictures of their. That's fucking weird. I mean, is that what we're talking about here? Or I don't know, they're in a club or something, and they put their camera over the top of the woman's head while she's dancing. I don't know how you would implement that. I wouldn't want to implement that. And yes, it is creepy and fucking weird. Why would you do that? I'm just kind of curious, like, how would you do that? Well, I guess the creeps will creep.
And Foreign Secretary Liz Truss is going to outlaw wolf whistling and catcalling if she becomes Prime Minister.
Again, keep in mind, limited resources here. What's more important? Now, of course, women walking down the street should feel comfortable and all that. But there's always going to be some fucking freak show. I don't care what society you're in. There's always going to be some creepy weirdo. The problem is, well, part of the problem is that 95% of men are creepy weirdos, right? Right? That's what they think.
It's part of a wider crackdown on misogyny in public places that the both hope will tackle.
Excuse me, young man. Do you even know what misogyny means? Misogyny means the hatred of women, right? So you're using a term you really don't know, but you're just a young pup. Maybe you'll get it someday. Maybe.
Violence against women and girls.
I should hope someone that's on the television in Britain would fucking know. But oh, stop being pedantic, hamster. Oh my God.
So is this a long overdue change? Or
oh, David Graham, you stop it, you evil man, you. It's just, oh, tisk, tisk, tisk.
For an overreach of the state? And is it even enforceable? Well, to debate this, I'm joined by the leader of the Children and Family Party, Mike Buchanan, and author and broadcaster Amy Nicole will be with us in just a moment.
No, what we have to ask Hobson, maybe Mike Buchanan. Where is this guy? What kind of accent is that? What kind of English accent is that? It's kind of like northern England. I'm not necessarily good with the English accents. I know all about them southern accents. So let me tell you, boys. Y'all.
And the political commentator Dominique Samuels here.
Why is that? Because I'm in Missouri. And we got lots of all here. Oh my God.
In the studio. Mike, come on. Do you reckon this ban on wolf whistling and cat calling, is this long overdue? Won't it be nice?
Yes, Raymond. Creepy weirdos, not people. I love that from Homath. He's got a new one out too, past couple of days. Pretty good. Go check that out.
It's a nicer environment for women to not have to worry.
Well, hamster, why don't you do it? Well, okay, here's the deal. No, I don't know about Homath's thing. I see him all over the place, shared by a bunch of people. You never know, right? Because the people, if they start making their living off of YouTube, and certainly Homath is at the point where he's probably making pretty good money at this point. He's got millions of views, right? They get a little sensitive then. Excuse me, when you share their shit because they don't get paid for it. You see what I'm saying? So we're just going to be a little careful there. Go ahead.
About being exposed to this sort of thing.
Darren, these are just the latest examples of politicians' pathetic pandering to miserable, whiny feminists.
Oh! Oh, Buchanan, I love this guy. He comes right out and just says it, doesn't he? Doesn't mince words. For no reason is here. Let's listen to that again, because I think
sort of thing.
Darren, these are just the latest examples of politicians' pathetic pandering to miserable, whiny feminists. We know from a survey carried out by the Forces Society, a radical feminist charity, that only 1 in 11 women and 1 in 25 men are feminists, and yet they.
Now think about that. It's 8 out of 100, right? 9 out of 100. That's not very many, and yet they seem to have a very, very big influence on the government. Crazy, isn't it?
The politicians continually pander to them. I mean, what next exactly? I mean, should we make up? What about upsleeving? You know, taking photographs of women's arms. Perhaps we should have men wearing blinkers. A law saying men have to wear blinkers when they're out of doors in case their gaze falls upon some of these special snowflakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and God forbid you walk up to a woman in one of the shears had Herefordshire, sorry, New Hampshire, right? New Herefordshire. That's like what I just, those English, you know, God almighty, they should learn some American. Well, somewhere down in the Shire, they made it illegal a couple of years ago to even talk to a chick, especially if you're fugly, like 95% of us. You know, go ahead.
Do you agree with those sentiments?
That was funny, but I think in terms of Rishi Sunak's policy of down blousing, that being taking photographs of a woman's boobs, essentially.
I mean, can we all agree that that's kind of fucking creepy? I think there might be a few you rascals. Oh, what's wrong with that? It's just titties. They're on show. Why shouldn't I take a picture of it? Well, you don't have her permission. So if you say, hey, excuse me, Dear young woman, you mind if I take a picture of your tits? And she says, oh yeah, take my tits. Sure, no problem. No problem. But if you're creeping around, sneaking around, trying to get pictures of her titties, that's kind of sick fucking behavior. Know what I'm saying? But to conflate that, which is truly, I believe, absolutely creepy shit, I think most of us would agree. Calling out to some, oi! Some construction worker saying, oi, beautiful. Right? It's kind of annoying, but certainly not in the same realm of taking pictures of her tits, is it? I don't think so.
Without her consent. I do agree with that.
I don't know.
I think it really is in stark contrast to Liz Truss's proposed policy, which I really don't see how the police are going to enforce this. And I think there are more pressing issues that the police should be focusing on rather than policing minute exchanges between men and women. Look, as a woman, I've been catcalled, I've been wolf whistled at.
Yeah.
Am I going to then stand there and call the cops? No.
I mean, I've been hit on by gay guys. It's a compliment. It's like, hey, cool. Yeah. I don't care. Oh my God. This guy. Jesus Christ. But if you look at it from a woman's perspective, right, it's probably happening a lot more than we know. So I can understand how it would be annoying and it'd be very uncomfortable in certain, situations, right? I get it. But I mean, what do you want the police state to do everything for you? Apparently so.
Will they come? I mean, they don't even arrive for burglaries. Probably not. So it just seems to be a waste of police time when they could be spending more time focusing on women being actually raped and murdered rather than someone whistling at someone.
No, I mean, I know police don't necessarily prevent crime. They can, right? You got the cops walking the beat and, they see cops around. These creepy fucks probably won't be trying some of the things they may want to do. But I mean, we all should be happy that the incidence of the creep grabbing someone on the street and doing bad things to them is very low, right? That's good. It's good news.
Mike, do you actually think that this is creating a climate of fear?
Yeah, you're right, Raymond. You're right.
In which men are going to just ultimately become too afraid to even speak to a woman?
Yes. That's exactly the point, young man.
There is that risk, of course. But before this discussion, Darren, I spoke with Elizabeth Hobson, the young anti-feminist woman who was leader of this party for over a year. And in her email to me following that discussion, she wrote this. And this is with regard to
Hobson alert. Hobson, where's she at? Where's the redhead? She's even here with us now. Her and Buchanan are in the same political circles, so they kind of know each other.
Down-blousing. Another day, another absurd feminist grievance. Women are important members of our society, and we should be encouraged to flourish. Please encourage us by understanding that we can cope with the day-to-day hurly-burly of being an individual in contact with other individuals all by ourselves.
It would be funny if I ever got to England and I saw Elizabeth and say, oi! I wonder if she'd like, oh my God, you creep. It's like, but I'm the hamster. It's like, no, you're not. You're icky. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'd probably be arrested because I think Elizabeth is in London, so God almighty. That's probably the least of her worries. Oy, oy. Oh my God. Go on, Mike.
Drilling these messages into us that we're victims who need the authorities to regulate our interactions.
Hello, Bellet Master. How the hell are you? Why are you late, you son of a gun?
Grow when we're challenged to. Let us grow. Okay. We should not tie up the police and solicitors and courts with ridiculous cases about down-blousing and wolf whistling.
I mean, the down-blousing, I understand. That's super fucking creepy. Or upskirting or whatever. I mean, that's creepy shit. But just saying, oi, beautiful. What's your number? Come on.
Amy Nicol, do you agree with those sentiments? Do you think actually the two Conservative leadership candidates are just way off the mark?
Oh, Ian, I've been missing you too, baby. Oh, send me some more pictures, you bad boy. Ian is in the UK or in Scotland, so he knows what's going on here. Do you know the accent of this dude? Let's this presenter.
Those sentiments. Do you think actually the two Conservative leadership candidates are just way off the mark here? You're creating extra burdens for the police, and these measures aren't necessary.
I don't know. I can't really. I can't figure that one out. I mean, if it's Liverpool, I get that. You know, maybe. What's the northeastern part? Oh God, Jesus, your memory is going to Newcastle.
I think what your other guest has just said there is exactly...
His brain is toasty. Let me tell you.
Exactly the problem. We've completely normalized behavior that is damaging and toxic and only ever happens to women. We're talking about horrible incidences that women have to take as part of their daily lived experience. And that's the problem. And once again, this whole...
Well, I know what you're saying, Tom, but you still really need to get someone's permission to take their picture, kind of, right? I mean, you can film in public, in a public space, and okay, maybe that's what they're getting. Oh my God, he's taking pictures in the public. Well, I think you can do that, can't you? I don't know. I'm not sure what the rules are. I think if you are in a public space, I suppose, you know, a street or something, you can film. But, you know, I mean, walking up to a chick and sneakily taking pictures of her hooters. No. That's
debate has been completely trivialized. This isn't about a little wolf whistle here and there. This is about street harassment. This is about serial street harassment. And Liz Truss wasn't saying we're going to criminalize it, and anyone who even looks at a woman gets handcuffs taken off and given the death penalty.
Yes, exaggerating to mask the real point is you want the government to control anyone, Bueller, anyone, man.
This is about
not just the creepy men, but all men. Because in the eyes of the modern young woman, 95% or more of men are creepy.
Incidences and making a record, and then you can see repeat offenders and you can see patterns starting to emerge, because the serious harm that we all agree that we want dealt with is built upon these little incidences. The killer of Sarah Everard, Wayne Couzens, was known to be a indecent exposure and flasher, and this was never
this is this fucking asshole who killed the young woman, the Sarah Everard, a few years ago. He was a cop and fucking creep. Hopefully he's spending the rest of his days in jail.
Taken particularly seriously, and it was never recorded. If it had been recorded, we could have seen the pattern and we could have prevented perhaps.
That's right, Radical.
What happened.
That is correct, Radical. That's why I say young women believe 95% of men are creepy because they're not attracted to them.
Happened in the end. It's all about prevention. And
creepy is pretty easy to figure out. It's not creepy if she thinks you're hot. It's creepy if she don't. Okay? So it's really that easy.
This is tried and tested. So in 2016, Nottinghamshire Police did a pilot. At the time, trivialized by the likes of yourselves.
Yes. Robin Hood land. The Sheriff of Nottinghamshire.
Called, was just banning wolf whistling. It actually was really, really effective. Reports went up by 25%, and women said that they felt really safe, and it's worked out incredibly well.
Now, I would like to see the crime statistics from the same time period. God forbid it's 0. Nothing happened. But isn't that more important than some guy? Oi! No, I guess not. It's apparently so safe in some communities in England, Nottinghamshire for one, that the police have plenty of time to investigate someone going, oi, beautiful, show us your tits.
So, Mike, this is serious stuff. This sounds like Amy is raising some very powerful points there, that actually this is a good technique to catch perverts.
Hey, D-Man, good to see you.
This is absolutely not serious stuff. Trying to link wolf whistling or downblousing with rape or murder is absurd. This has to be one of the safest countries in the world for women and girls. Now, Sunak was quoted as saying this: as a father of 2 girls, I want them to be able to go for a walk in the evening or to shop at night without any fear of threat.
Yeah. Yes. And very soon, our guest here, the white girl, she's gonna, oh my God, but England isn't safe, isn't? It's like, well, maybe not.
Well,
anymore.
I'm the father of 2 girls as well, who I love very dearly. But what Sunak says says he wants will never happen. And it serves only to make women and girls more anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Dominique, do you agree with that?
I think it's unfortunate. Can I just say one thing back to that? This is not a safe country for women and girls. It's unfortunate. Can I just say one thing back to that? This is not a safe country for women and girls. A woman is killed by a man every 3 days in this country.
And I mean, that's terrible, isn't it? That's horrible. No one disagrees with that. That's 100 women a year, and all of that, it's terrible. But are you kidding? The United States, I mean, we're a lot bigger, right? 350 million people. There's a lot of murder going on over here in the United States. It's unfortunate. And it's terrible that one woman is killed every 3 days. In England, yes, we all agree that's absolutely unacceptable. But again, you live in a country of 72 million people. Something like that. Yes, it's bad, but come on now. See, here's the problem. Obviously, murder is a problem. Nobody disagrees with that. The problem is people like Dominique here is comparing England and a woman getting murdered every 3 days, which is horrible. No one disagrees that that's horrible. It's not horrible. Of course it is. With utopia. That's the way these people work. Ideally, there'd be nobody murdered or raped or assaulted or robbed or mugged or yes, in a utopia. We're never going to get to a utopia. And so why do you think these people keep going? Well, England isn't safe. Compared to what? Compared to what? Well, there shouldn't be any of that. Yeah, you agree. Absolutely. There should be no rapes and assaults and murders. Yeah, I'm with you. But that is not ever going to happen, unfortunately. So this comparison to utopia is where I think we get into some very, very hairy little difficulties with these people. But go on.
You're just wrong on that.
23 million. Out of 23 million, it is a very rare crime.
Yeah, it is.
It is a rare crime. And in terms of
Ali G Khan. Good to see you, Ali. Good
safety on the streets, even being attacked by a stranger.
Oh, it's about 3x more, I believe. I think it's one man killed every day, something like that. Not sure what the number is, but it's more. It's much more.
Men are actually more likely than women to experience that. This is a very safe place for women comparative to other nations with regards to rape and murder. That's just a fact. But in regards...
Oh, wait till you hear this. Oh, my God. Or no, maybe that's the next video.
To Wayne Couzens, I think there's a big difference between exposing your genitalia randomly, and that absolutely should have been taken seriously.
Yeah, obviously somebody who does that is a fucking creep. We all agree. There's no argument here. Yes, that's creepy as fuck.
What the heck? Compared to wolf whistling, I think those are two very different things. And I think he does raise a good point. Yeah. It's sort of instilling this culture of fear within women that any sort of unwanted attention from men needs to automatically be criminalized. And
Khan, the computer smashed. It's going to take time. Time is a luxury you do not have.
What that is doing is that's micromanaging relationships between men and women. When it comes to, obviously, rape, murder, sexual harassment, they should obviously be taken seriously. Absolutely. But you run the risk of...
Again, there's no one who disagrees. Nobody. Nobody disagrees that stuff is really bad.
We're policing people's speech even more now, and then policing interaction. You're creating a culture of fear and anxiousness in a country that's supposed to be free.
Yeah. But that is the point, isn't it? Fear is a big motivator and thing. Oh my God, if you don't vote for our party, you can't even walk down the street.
Are you not just perpetuating this sense that women are victims?
I think, unfortunately, in the society, we are completely guilty of normalizing street harassment and women being treated fundamentally differently to men. And 1 in 3 women, when they walk along at night, they hold their keys between their fingers like that.
Yeah, that myth has been busted a million times because that's not going to help you. It's going to hurt you. But go ahead. Here'd be an idea. Why don't we let women and men carry, say, pepper spray? Oh, no. Why is it illegal in Canada for women to carry pepper spray to fend off any rapist? Why is that illegal? Same in Australia. Probably the same in England. Why is that? Have you ever thought? Have you?
That's another fact. I think that what this offers is just a way to protect women and offer them the reassurance that we are going to do something about the culture.
I hear what you're saying. I get that point, Amy. But I would put to you, actually, that walking around the streets of Sadiq Khan's London, I'm a bloke and I don't feel especially safe. Streets of Sadiq Khan's London, I'm a bloke and I don't feel especially safe.
Yeah, well, we in the United States, we do have the Second Amendment, and if a woman feels unsafe, she can get herself a little pew-pew, or pepper spray, or fucking bear spray, or a machine gun. No, not a machine gun, but I do not understand why in Canada women are not allowed to have pepper spray. That doesn't make sense. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
I think that's a completely separate issue, really.
Well, how?
Because we're talking about recording misogyny making a record so that we can see patterns emerging of people that are potentially dangerous to women. We're not talking about somebody shouting. And also, I saw the other day somebody saying they were wolf whistles and they found that complimentary. I think that's a real problem that we have.
Well, I mean, if everybody had a sword, that would certainly, or if everybody walked around with a 6-shooter. Oh, my God. Yeah, Wild West. My God.
That in our society, and that is now seen as something that can be not only accepted, but weirdly just taken not seriously.
Amy, come on. Everyone knows that when a man expresses interest in a woman, in some cases it can be creepy and not wanted, but in most cases it's when you don't actually fancy the person that's doing it.
Thank you.
Man expresses interest in a woman. In some cases it can be creepy and not wanted, but in most cases it's when you don't actually fancy the person that's doing it.
Oi, I like your tits. If he's fucking Superman, it's like, oh, thank you for noticing. If it's hamster, it's like, oh my God, call the police. Well, I'd never say that, but you get my point. Depends if the dude's attractive or not. I mean, come on.
I think you just have to be honest about that.
Pretty fucking easy.
I think there's a big difference between shouting, oh, I think you look lovely, and something that I couldn't even say on this program because it is so explicit. And that is normally the reality of the street harassment we're discussing today. Okay,
well, that's bad. If some guy's saying stuff like that, hey, show us your hoo-ha or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's low class, low quality people that do that sort of thing. Right? Say, oi, looking good today.
So, Mike, would you like it if you... I'm just going to ask you a question, Mike, and then you can come back to that. But would you like it if you were walking down the street, Mike, and someone said, oh, I don't know, you've got a nice bottom or something like that? I imagine you'd feel somewhat objectified, wouldn't you?
Oh, my God, yes. Oh, yes. That one gay guy that wanted to take me out. I'm just, oh, my God, call the police. Get out of here. Ali Khan says patterns of misogyny. Low to record. 95% of the unseen men can be tracked further. Yeah. Oh, it's to put fear into women, to demand more government intervention in their lives, except for that one thing. You know what I'm saying? The sacrament.
I'd be utterly thrilled, to be quite frank.
Oh my God! Pinch my butt.
It would make my year. It hasn't happened yet, Darren, but one can but hope. And I just wanted to say, to say that wolf whistling or cat calling are evidence of misogyny, well, to normal people.
Excuse me, Grinchy, you have a nice pooper. So I've heard. Big boy.
Which obviously excludes feminists. That is just absolutely ridiculous.
I see your comment, Ian. I'll just leave it there, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're expressions of appreciation for women, and normal women.
I mean, you do realize some of the shit coming out of the UK, England. Oh my God, letting guys off for R-word stuff because they didn't know it was illegal and they got no jail. Are you kidding me? Come on. Oh my God.
Appreciate it. And plenty of women have told me that as they got older, they didn't get wolf whistled, and they're kind of pissed off about it.
Oh, I apologize for that language there, by Mike. But
oh my God, I apologize. He said pissed off. We can't have that on UK TV because reason.
Amy, I'm just you had some point to raise there.
I just think it's absolutely startling and astounding that you've got a guest who is endorsing wolf whistlers. So you would be happy for your daughters to walk along the street and have random men shout from the other side of the road about their body parts? Is that what you want?
It's not what I want, but at the end of the day, you're seeking a world that can never exist, and
utopia.
And the women will always, I would rather that women build some resilience rather than be special snowflakes who melt.
Right.
Who melt just as a man shouts something in the street.
Right?
No, just being an adult, you have to put up with bullshit. It's a different kind of bullshit for women compared to men, but it's still bullshit. You live in a city that's going to be some stupid shit going on. I mean, I should ask Elizabeth and see, hey, Lizzie, when you walk down the street, do you get wolf whistled all the time? I mean, she's attractive, right? She's got hooters. Show us your tits.
So men are exempt from this, but we as women must accept things that you don't experience or have to deal with anyway. We have to be accepted.
Amy, men get shouted at. I can tell you, any Scotsman who wears a kilt into a pub or a bar will have stories about being about drunk women taking photographs up their kilts. But you've never heard about men whining on about up-kilting, have you?
Do you see the beast? Have you got it in your sights?
Dominique?
I can't believe this is reduced to this. We're essentially living in a country that's decriminalized rape.
Oh my God.
I think only 3% of rape.
Wait.
We're essentially living in a country that's decriminalized rape.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for certain members of the population, there's story after story after story about certain new arrivals that didn't apparently know that rape is illegal. Now, how is that even possible? Welcome to the United Kingdom, apparently.
I think only 3%.
Honestly.
To this, we're essentially living in a country that's decriminalized rape. This is reduced to this. We're essentially living in a country that's decriminalized rape.
No. Oh my God. And this is the toxic cancer that is pumped into the heads of these young women. Oh my God, it's not even illegal. The R word is not illegal in England. Are you fucking out of your mind? Seriously. Where do they get this bullshit?
I think only 3% of rape.
Dominique, I want Dominique to come in.
Yes, it is rubbish. It's illegal. It's a crime in the United Kingdom to R-word a woman. A woman, by the way. The man, it's different.
On that's quite a serious charge.
Unless you're gay. If you're a gay guy, you could be charged with the R-word. But not if you're a woman. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably a bit dramatic. We haven't effectively decriminalized rape. I think.
Yes, Ian, this chick is batshit crazy. Oh, you noticed.
I think that's probably a bit dramatic. We haven't effectively decriminalized rape. I think the problem is that the police aren't actually solving crimes, and that's the problem. I think a really big distinction needs to be made. Of course, I've been catcalled, I've been whistled at. It's not nice. It's annoying. No. I don't like it when men do it, but I'm focusing on how realistic is it to make the act in itself illegal, and what are the knock-on effects of that. The police, as they aren't focusing on actual crimes that are affecting women and men across this country.
Well, under certain circumstances, yes. If you happen to look like me or Mike Buchanan, well, and that's a whole different story.
Adding more to the list to pander to a group of people that probably won't even vote Conservative in a general election anyway.
Right. It's just,
I think is extremely counterproductive.
Okay, I think we're done with this one. Let's try another one. Let's to the where is it? Let's see. Okay, okay, here we go. More feminist stuff. We're going to share this tab instead. This is the Poor Man's Podcast. If you've not subscribed to Poor Man's Podcast, please do. He does a really good job. Okay. More English stuff. Let's, oh my God, it's hoity-toity.
A judge in an employment tribunal in Peterborough has said that claiming not to be a feminist could be an act of discrimination. I quote the judge, who said it would appear that a feminist is simply about all genders having equal rights and opportunities as men. The judge confessed the tribunal was perplexed by the defendant's non-feminist views and suggested such opinions would be in breach of equality laws. I was perplexed as the judge by his statement that feminism relates to all genders, implying more than two. I thought feminism was about women, not the transgender ideology.
Right.
Discrimination must require action rather than a lack of belief, as long as others are treated equally under the law. Is there one definition of feminism that must be believed? There seems an extraordinary intrusion into personal belief, as opposed to viewing discrimination, isn't it?
Is that the link to this video? Or thank you. If that isn't, this is D-Man put it in there. Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, he does a really good job on his podcast. Oh, it actually let me share. I'm so happy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what it is political persecution. What they're talking about now is political persecution. When you start trying to lock people up because they don't have the same political ideology as you.
That is correct, sir. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you don't believe the way we think. You're wrong thinking. You see what I'm saying? Orwell was not wrong. Go on.
That's political persecution. That's like somebody on the left becoming the president and then saying that everybody on the right has to be locked up because if you're on the right, you must be a homophobe, you must
Nazi,
be racist, and you must be for child genocide.
Right.
It's the same thing. And it's not even really surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if you see more of this considering the political polarization in the world right now. You go on Twitter, you can see leftists say this blatantly. If you're on the right, you must be this, this, and this. Yeah, if you go on Twitter, you can see people on the right saying this blatantly. If you're on the left, you must be a communist, a groomer, stupid, whatever the word may be. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see more of this as those people who have those views get more political power and the people who are used to seeing those views get more political power. Of course, they're going to try to flex their muscle. That makes sense. People need to calm down. This political persecution. And the thing is, the most interesting part about this is just because I'm not a feminist doesn't mean that I'm going to discriminate or be prejudiced towards feminists.
I mean, didn't Count Dankula get put in jail for a stupid dog thing in England or Scotland? I'm not sure where he lives, but yeah, it's happened. It's happening right now. If you happen to be of a certain shade, you will not be arrested for peacefully protesting. If you happen to be the other shade, you will be. The words two-tier justice system is happening as we speak in jolly old England right now. Well, in the U.S. too, but it's a little more blatant, currently obvious in England.
But what they're trying to do is be prejudiced and discriminatory towards non-feminists. Isn't that convenient?
Well, with me now is my panel, associate commentator at The Telegraph, Mutaz Ahmed, and the historian and broadcaster, Tessa Dunlop. Tessa, is it compulsory, basically?
Who do you think is the feminist? Who do you do we even have to guess? I think we know. Just because she's a woman, you stop it. Not all women are feminists, thank God.
To agree with you. And you may think it should be, but is that a sensible way for the law to go?
Isn't that why you have me here? It's your token feminist.
Oh my God, she even admitted it. Oh my God, hello, amen. Oh, by the way, I think Hammerhand will have a show tonight, so don't miss the Sunday sermon. Be good. I'm sure it'll be good.
So that you aren't entirely shut down by a tribunal, the establishment that is GB News.
Zealot Master, you lost your money. No. In this case, it's exactly what it looks like.
No, I looked up the definition of feminism for you, Jake, because I thought you might need some help in this area.
Typical teacher-like condescending behavior.
Yeah.
Condescending behavior. It's already started.
We just need to force feed you our ideology because you're just not woke enough and you need to be educated. And I'm here to educate you because I'm a enlightened fembot. Oh, goody. Can't wait for this.
The advocacy of women's rights, people like me, on the basis of the equality of the sexes.
Okay. So that is the dictionary definition. So exactly what rights, and this is really, if you ever run into a feminist, and God forbid, what if you do? You're having a conversation, maybe a couple drinks, whatever. What rights don't you have as a woman that I do as a man? Which ones are those? Point them out, and I will fight to get that right if you don't have one that I do. Of course, you will not hear the reciprocal of that. You will not hear a feminist ever say, it's kind of unfair that men don't really have any say in the, never going to hear that, are you? Oh, no, but women's reproductive rights. What about men? Oh, well, you shouldn't have sex. You dog woof, right? So what rights do you not have that I do? Just wondering.
So that is baked into law, last updated as we discussed.
David Graham, decolonize your privilege. Yes, get that knapsack off your back and give it to the women, you evil man.
Well, hold on. Baked into law, the equality, and I'm all in favor of that, but advocacy. To say that it is compulsory to advocate something is very different from saying that something is the law of the land.
It's good to see your usual pedantry self.
Oh my God, he's so pedantic. He probably went to Eton, didn't he? Oh my God.
It's one thing to say that you can't do something. So it's one thing to say that you can't be prejudiced or discriminatory, but it's another thing to bake into law that you have to be something or you have to think a certain way. That's when things get dangerous.
Viewers and listeners expect it.
Indeed.
Germany. 1933 to 1945. Just saying.
It's important to say that this.
Oh, wait a minute. Trump's the Nazi. Really? Is that right?
Manager. He was an environmental agency manager. Therefore, he had a level of agency within his agency.
They earn less than men because they work less than men. Sorry. It's a facts.
They were contesting his maintenance.
13% of the wage gap, so-called, is made up simply by the difference in hours worked between men and women. It's just 13% right there. Boom. But let's not talk about that because it's misogynist. You hate women.
Of a non-feminist view. They suggested that was discriminatory, i.e., as a manager, by maintaining non-feminist views, that impacts on your ability to treat your employees and your co-workers equally.
Does it? If he treated everybody equally, the fact that he didn't believe in feminism was surely his choice.
He was maintaining his non-feminist stance, which is counter to equality.
No. No, I would say no. You can't, if your manager isn't a feminist, he's right. What the fuck?
It runs counter
Not
to
if he didn't do anything about it. Newt has.
Feminism is not about equality anymore.
Right. Thank you, sir. And it hasn't been for decades. Go on.
It's about crushing the patriarchy. It's about women gaining the upper hand over men. That's not equal.
You can see it.
Yeah. See. And crushing the patriarchy is simply crushing capitalism and the meritocracy. They don't want to tell you that little secret, do they? Oh, no. It's about, no. It's always and only about the revolution. Doesn't matter how they get there. Come on now.
You can see it in what they're talking about right now. Once you get to the point where your political ideology starts to oppress other people, you are no longer the oppressed. You are the oppressor. Once you start getting so much political power that you make it illegal to think opposite of your worldview, you can't keep saying that you're the oppressed. You're obviously now the oppressor.
Capitalism is not a meritocracy. Well, some parts of it maybe are, but I get your point. I mean, it's not perfect. Capitalism sucks, but it's better than everything else we've come up with so far. So
another beleaguered male.
I'm not a feminist.
Oh my
give
God,
them
he's not a
love
feminist.
And good, nutritious food, it absolutely changes your life.
You can believe in equality, right? But you don't have to be a feminist to believe it.
Right.
Abso-fucking-lutely. I've been saying that for years. I'm absolutely women's rights. They want to work. They want to go to fucking without question. But that's not what feminism is about these days. And it hasn't been for the last 50 or so years. We all know this. We all know it's a political movement to destroy capitalism and bring in some form of socialism. We all know that, right? And we should know
And
that.
if this man is saying he's not a feminist, he might well be saying, I don't believe in crushing the patriarchy. I don't believe in creating an environment that's negative for men.
I understand that you're actually half my age and you perhaps haven't been around quite long enough to understand what feminism literally means in its legal defined context.
No. Okay, so she breaks out the age shaming right away. That's almost their go-to first thing they do. Wow, I've been around a lot longer than you, young man, and let me tell you, because I'm way smarter with more experience and shit. No.
I understand that you're actually half my age. And
you don't have to live to be an old biddy to understand what feminism is all about. And we don't have to keep going back 100 years. Oh my God, back then women were that. We don't live 100 years ago. We live today, don't we? It's 2024, not 1924, not 1824. All of the goals of feminism have been reached, and they have been since around 1975. What now, brown cow? Well, we can't just let a movement go home. We can't just pick up our toys and leave, can we? We got to come up with more shit to bitch about. But this is the delusion of the modern, in this case, second wave feminist. Oh no, it's about equality. Well, what fucking equality don't you have? Notice, though, they've been changing it to, well, we want equity. Yes, you do. You want equal outcome. Some form of socialism, some sort of government intervention, a quota system, etc. Right? Oh, but only in areas that we want to be equal. Not that other stuff like digging ditches and shit. That's for the men. We just want those C-suite jobs. We want the corporate CEO stuff. Okay, so you're thinking, half. Oh yeah. It should be reflective of the population. Tell me then again, how come you're not complaining about college, which is lopsidedly in favor of women? Oh well, that's different. No. See, when equality is passed, when the ratio is greater in favor of women on good stuff. Oh, no. That's perfectly fine. It's for past oppression. Isn't it? Never hear a damn thing about college, do you? Oh, no.
And you perhaps haven't been around quite long enough to understand what feminism literally means in its legal defined context.
Have her age and already twice as smart.
Oh!
What's happened since you grew up is that the culture wars have taken words like feminism and they've injected them with all kinds of potency.
Is it people injecting the term feminism with all kinds of potency and whatever? Or is it the movement itself has radically changed from a movement for equality and women's rights to whatever the fuck it is today? Is it possible it's not the same as it used to be? Now, some people argue it's always been the same. Okay, yeah, I get it. But you know what I'm saying. The bra-burning Gloria Steinems, right? We want our rights and blah, blah, birth control, blah, 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 right? What is it today? Still saying that women are victims. They don't have equal rights. In what? Where? Certainly not in the West. Come on. Now.
Which actually are deeply unhelpful to the cause of equality and the cause of women.
If I don't identify with that word, then, which has been injected with all of this politics, am I being discriminatory? If I say in the workplace that I don't believe in DEI, am I saying that I don't believe in racial equality? Of course I'm not. I'm saying that I don't believe in the politics of DEI. I don't believe in the politics of feminism. Right. How is that discriminatory?
Well, I think what we need to do is divorce the definition of feminism from the way in which you clearly see some individuals.
I'm looking for a good break in the action so I could go get some brewskis. Oh my God. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, using it and that's the thing. They'll make something. They'll call you something if you don't believe in it.
Wait, it's not 8:30 yet. Oh, damn it.
And then they move the goalpost.
Damn it.
So just because I want equality for the races doesn't mean I agree with the implementation of DEI.
Exactly.
Just because I agree that there's an issue doesn't mean that I agree on the solution. And just because I don't agree with your solution, now I got to go to jail? Because that's what they're trying to make it out to be.
Yes.
I can be for immigrants having some type of help without wanting to also be for completely opening the border. Just because I am for immigrants getting some type of help or migrants, asylum seekers getting some type of help don't mean I gotta be for completely opening the border.
That's the way these people think, though, Mr. Poorman. That's the way these people think. If you don't like the solution, you obviously hate immigrants, or you hate women, or you hate black people, or you hate this, you hate that. You got to have the whole loaf. There can't be a middle solution. It's all or nothing, it seems, with these people. And in the case of feminists, you already have everything. What the hell are you talking about?
Just because I'm against completely opening the border.
Oh my God, my grandma, she couldn't get a banking account. And God damn it. How many years ago was that?
Doesn't mean that I'm a bigot. We can agree to the problem, but not agree on the solution.
Right.
But they're trying to make it so that we agree on the problem. They force you to agree on the problem. So you have to identify as feminist. But then what are we going to do to level the equality? And also, if you don't agree with all of the things that they want to implement to quote unquote level the equality, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to keep calling you the non-feminist. Because if you were feminist, you would agree with me.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Oh, but I mean, aside from that, Mr. Podcast, what exactly are they advocating for? Right? They always say women's rights and equality. What the fuck does that mean? What more equality do you want? Well, they don't want equality. They want equity. They want equal outcome in things that they want to be equal in, and not other stuff. See?
The likes of you with and your rights with. I will go back to read the Oxford Dictionary definition of feminism.
How many times have we gone to the dictionary definition? Huh? We get it. It doesn't matter what it says on the paper. We understand the connotation and the denotation. We've talked about this before. It's denoted in the Oxford Dictionary, but the connotation of the fembots, whole different ballgame.
Because of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes.
Okay, and again, what rights do you not have in the West? Tell us, please.
Interestingly, when I looked it up in the Oxford Dictionary, it says you should pronounce it feminism, which seems to have gone out of fashion. Yeah. And I think that's
Well, that was before even I was born.
But I think that's Mutaz's.
That's hard to believe. What's this? Oh my God.
Point that words evolve, and actually what you're saying about a dictionary definition is all perfectly fair and true, but Mutaz's point is absolutely spot on. It has become a political advocacy of something. I'm all in favour, strongly in favour of equality before the law. I think it is the most fundamental principle of British law. But that...
Yes. And every mostly sane person would agree. Yes, women's rights. Sir, yeah, absolutely. So what are they advocating for? That's the big question.
Doesn't mean that I believe that there is equality of all genders. I don't actually think there are more than two genders anyway. And this judge is on about there being a whole slew of genders. Right. That's very odd, isn't it?
This judge is. I didn't catch that.
He said that his definition of feminism, or as we're all now going to pronounce it, feminism.
No. It's feminism is a it's the spear it's the point of the spear. It's like, oh, women are so oppressed and all that stuff. Well, okay, well, if they are, let's do something. Okay, well, here, let's do this. And it always leads to socialism. Always. That's the answer to everything. Oh, you heard about Kamala Harris's price controls and shit, right? Oh, that's not communism at all or anything like that. No.
Is that it relates to all genders.
Oh, you heard that, right? $25,000 credit for first-time homebuyers. Okay. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But that's only part of the problem. The problem is there ain't enough houses for people to buy. Jesus Christ. What's giving someone $25,000? What's that going to do? Raise the fucking prices of housing. Oh, shut up, though. You're evil and you hate women, right, hamster? I mean,
now, once you say all genders, all implies more than two.
Right.
It's only both genders, isn't it? We would say, I mean, I'm delighted we're having a discussion about the correct use of English.
Yes,
but it's both genders. Now, actually, you're a feminist. How many genders do you believe in?
Okay.
Well, in the eyes of the law, the protected characteristics of different individuals equates to
protected characteristics.
More than just two sexes.
So somebody who is protected has additional rights than those who aren't protected. And we all know by now, guys, it's men who are unprotected. And we have all the goodies. No,
includes more than two genders.
Oh, okay.
So I would say I'm separating sex from gender, and I would say that while I recognize two sexes, there may be more people identify with more than two genders.
Yeah, so gender is a personality. You want to dress up like a woman or a man, you go for it, man. No problem. Nobody cares. People start caring when you want to change laws to reflect every single personality in the entire fucking world. Get it? Right?
Are feminists protected or endangered?
Oh my God. It's a Dyson sphere. Look at it. Oh my God. Oh no.
By a man in a frock going into ladies' loos.
I don't know what he said there, but sure it was something.
I've silenced Tessa. That's the first time that's ever happened. Moot has.
What are the other genders? What are they?
Well, I'm not somebody who identifies out with my gender, which is female, but I know that there are those with protected characteristics, transsexuals who have...
So what's going on? The little hamster in her head spinning up. Well, I can't really say this because then I'll be a TERF, and I'm not really a TERF, but if I say I'm not a TERF, then I'm God damn, it's a scrambled mess up in this woman's brain, boys. Her neurons are firing some like crazy.
A different idea of their own gendered identity, and who am I to quibble with that? I really think what concerns me greatly is that the likes of
You mean the personality, right? That's what you really mean. Their gender identity. It's their personality. Okay.
Jacob Rees-Mogg, who's more...
They're men or they're women, or they're intersex in rare cases. And the way they dress and the way they live their lives is their personality. It's not a gender. It's pretty easy.
More likely to be found in the sort of golf house or the gentleman's drinking club than he ever is campaigning for equality and women's rights and worrying about our safety. Suddenly gets very hot under the collar. If a man wears a woman's frock and says he's a woman...
Nobody gives a shit. Honestly. Nobody cares. You only get people like, what's her face, caring about it when you want to change the law and make it legal in some way for someone to have their own personality and discriminate against other people. Essentially is what you're doing. Remember that democracy? Democracy, remember that? Majority rules. Got it.
And then it goes into a female space. It
sounds like he cares about female safety more than the feminists. If I'm against men slapping on a wig and going into the women's bathroom to be around female children, young girls, that sounds like I'm more for the protection of women. If anything, it sounds more feminist than the feminists. Because feminism is based around the idea that the patriarchy, i.e. men, have oppressed women throughout time.
Oh, yeah.
But if a man slaps on a wig, he can just go into the female bathroom. Isn't that kind of contradicting? It's an insulting level of contradiction.
Mr. Podcast, you're trying to talk common sense here, and that is anathema to this woman. It's kryptonite. Just like all these radical feminists. It's all kryptonite. It doesn't matter. It's words. They don't care. They're indoctrinated. Brainwashed people.
Requires a crazy...
Almost feel sorry for him.
Level of stupidity to believe in both of those contradicting ideas at once. In
any other context, do you ever get worried about female safety?
No, this is something that women are concerned about.
Right. A few women. The only reason we're hearing so much about this is because men like you have jumped on their bandwagon.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. That's right. About the other radical feminists who are also talking about this. No. It's just, man, it's evil. Because that's their programming. That's it. It's always the fault of men. Always. Men are always the enemy. This is cult stuff, guys. This is culture.
Again, when you have the feminist ideology, you are taught to just blame everything on men. This has nothing to do with men. The issue is most women don't want their daughters to go into a changing room with men. It's a virtue signaling issue. A lot of women will say, yeah, we're for the equality of all genders. But when you implement certain things like allowing all genders to go into the female bathroom, a lot of people are going to start to fall back from the idea because of the implementation of the policy or whatever you're trying to do.
Did you guys hear this story? I'll take a quick tangent. They built apparently a new school in Austin, Texas. And one of the bathrooms, or two or more of the bathrooms, are unisex. So the girls and boys go in the same bathroom. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I don't think it is. It doesn't sound good. It sounds like, I don't want to go into a bathroom with a bunch of chicks to take a dump. I just farting and smelling, scratching. You know what? Come on. And of course, it's for elementary school kids. Now, I don't think necessarily a unisex bathroom for adults. I'd rather just be able to shit in my own bathroom. But for kids, come on now. What are we talking about here, boys? What are we talking about?
It's a virtue signaling issue. Like, there are a lot of people who say they're for open border, but if you ask them if they'll allow an immigrant to stay in their house, they're going to say no.
No.
Because it's easier to get status, or it's easier to seem like a good person than it is to actually be one by your own logic.
Yeah, virtue signaling. Well, you have 2 cars, don't you? Oh, yes, I have 2 cars. We're going to take one of your cars and give it to that person because that person doesn't have a car and you don't need 2. Well, how do you know I don't need 2? My wife works and my kids go to, sorry. You're going to have to get by with 1 car. Tough fucking shit. This person over here gets your car. Oh, you have an extra bedroom you're not using in your house? We're going to put that person in that bedroom and they're going to live there. Well, I don't want that. It's my house. Well, that's tough shit. Never hear that, do you? Here's my car. Well, I mean, I'm sure some people are like, oh, yeah, I got an extra car. Take it. I've given away cars too. People are down on their luck. It's okay. Take this car. I'm done, done with it. It's a fine car. I can only sell it for $500. Just take the car. And it helps those people out. That's fine. If it's voluntary. It's not what we're talking about here, boys.
And in this case, I don't necessarily think that the women don't want, quote unquote, gender equality. I just think that when you say gender equality means that grown men can go into the bathroom with your daughter, that's when you're going to get pushback.
I don't know, Brandon. Are you driving today?
Doing so much about it because of feminists, ironically. People like J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a rabbit hole. I wish feminism, which has got far greater causes to fight, like equality, justice, economic justice for women.
Economic justice for women. What does that mean? I think it means the wage gap. Hamster. Yes. Yes, it does. Oh, God.
Momentarily silenced is now making up for it.
She says it there at the end. And every time she refers to feminism, she talks about women. That's the end of the video, by the way. I'm just giving my summarizing thoughts. Okay. Every time she talks about feminism, she talks about it in the context of helping women, which makes sense because the name is feminism. It's not humanism. It's not peopleism. It's feminism.
Yeah, the thing is, though, helping them do what? What is the goal? Well, I think we know.
For a reason. And men, and the reason why it's losing so much traction with men, because I remember there used to be more male feminists, but the reason it's starting to lose traction is because it's very convenient that this is supposed to be about the equality of genders, yet the only time we talk about equality is when it benefits women.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that convenient? We don't talk about equality. Feminists don't talk about equality when we talking about custody. 50-50 custody is the best way to raise a child. Why aren't feminists going up to bat or going to the courthouse to say we should be giving fathers 50-50 custody?
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting point, Mr. Podcast. Why is that? Why do feminists actually fight joint custody? Curious, isn't it?
Homelessness ain't 50-50. Dying in war ain't 50-50. The number one reason for a man to not be on earth anymore, to avoid certain words for YouTube, the number one reason for a man between the age of 18 to 40 to not be on the earth anymore is ending himself. Where are the feminists talking about that?
They don't care. They don't care. You see, this is the cognitive dissonance of the fembots, right? On one hand, with child custody, they'll say the what is it, early years doctrine is discriminatory because women are just, oh my God, the law assumes women are, but at the same time, the very same fembots fight 50% custody, joint custody. How does that make sense? Think about it.
So again, it's just very convenient that we always talk about feminism being the equality of all gender when it's convenient for women. And that's where they lost.
That's all that matters. If it benefits the female, it's good. If it don't, it's bad, and it's the fault of men. And oh my God, he's a hater. Mike Buchanan. This is the International Conference for Men. This is his speech. He doesn't drink a vodka. A couple years ago, he got out a bottle of Russian standard vodka and a thing of tomato juice and drank the whole bottle of vodka. No, I don't think it was vodka, right? But it was funny. Yeah, go ahead. See what Mike Buchanan has to say.
Hello. I'm presenting my ICMI talk again this year from the main library in Buchanan Castle in Scotland, which I bought and renovated with the proceeds from the sales of my international bestsellers. We don't tend to talk much in the men's rights movement about major organizations and their importance to our daily lives. Organizations include political parties, media outlets, businesses, international organizations such as the United Nations, NGOs, charities, and so much more. By major organizations, I mean those with at least hundreds of employees, up to huge employers such as the National Health Service in the UK, for some decades, a disastrously inefficient and ineffective organization with 1.5 million employees.
Can you believe this Nazi? I mean, he's just, oh my God. Yeah, Mike Buchanan. Justice for men and boys and the girls, women who love them. One of the political parties with Elizabeth Hobson was in charge. These two get around in the same sort of political aisles, I guess. All right. It's after 8:30, so we can have a beer. I made some chili yesterday. I know it seems weird, right? Middle of summer. But I kind of felt like it. You know what I mean? You ever get that? I kind of feel like it. I put some pork in there. Oh, my God. Oh, it was really good. I have to admit. Anyway, go on, Sir Michael Buchanan.
Today, 3/4 of them are women. Women take up 2/3 of public sector jobs in the UK and a minority of private sector jobs.
Same in the US, basically. There's a lot of women employed by the federal government. You know what I'm saying?
When I refer to women and men in this talk, I'm not talking of all women and all men, of course.
Of course
but
you
of
are.
a sufficient majority to justify the point I'm making. It is, of course, a common feminist...
Michelle Guevara, you leaving already? It's only like 5 o'clock in France, you bastard. Come on, man.
...ploy to present the most accomplished women...
Oh, am I on MGTOW TV? I did no shit. I guess I remember. I don't think I've posted anything there. But here is the link to Buchanan's speech. It's on, I think it's on Paul Elam's channel.
...as typical of women and the worst men as typical of men. Today, I won't be talking about the exceptions, but the norms, which aren't changing as the decades roll by, being firmly rooted in human nature. Major organizations, including the military, have been run by men for a very long time, and they've been refined over that time to perform well in line with
D-Man. Oh, thank you. I didn't. Thanks for the link. My stuff is there. Really? I think I've only posted a couple things, but cool. Thank you for the link there. I'll have to go look.
Men's codes of honor and men's ways of working. Over the past half century or more, women have become ever more prominent in major organizations, and they've had zero interest in learning what makes organizations work well, preferring to operate in a female manner with predictable adverse consequences for the organizations.
Oh my God, he's evil. Look at him. Oh my God, he's dripping with hatred. Maybe your accounts are saying, I don't know, D-Man. It could be. I don't remember doing, well, it's been it's a couple of years ago, probably, when I got the MGTOW. I think I have a Rumble too, but I'm not sure. But I think I have MGTOW TV. I thought I had Rumble, but it's mostly been YouTube, I think. Because I think is there another one? Oh, God, my brain's dead. Well, yeah, half a sip of beer. Boy, and you're... There's another place where
organizations have become ever more concerned with advancing women, largely by holding back men. Over recent years, I've heard increasingly from men working in major organizations, understandably resentful at less competent and experienced female colleagues being promoted above them, or less competent and experienced women being recruited for more senior positions than they hold.
Yeah, that's not been my experience, though. Not in engineering, anyway. It's not been. But we don't have a lot of women. That's for sure. But I mean, the ones I've worked with have been perfectly competent. That's no issue with that at all. So, but I can understand maybe in some industries, you know, I'm guessing that a female doctor, for example, she knows what she's doing. Would have no issue with that at all. Somebody, I don't know, running the sales department. Who knows? I don't know. But I mean, in real,
many are also.
I know this sounds terrible. I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to say that highly trained professionals doesn't make any difference. None. If they're men, women, who gives a shit? That doesn't make any difference.
Understandably resentful that they've been expected to devote time and effort to helping these women carry out their duties at the expense of their own duties. So I decided to tackle the issue of the sexes in the workplace in my ICM.
Riggs is farting again. Thank you. We love you too, Riggs. Thank you for farting.
My talk this year. Before I talk more about organizations, I need to say something about professions. The increasing proportion of women on degree courses over recent decades has obviously led to the increasing proportion of women in key posts in organizations. Medical schools in the UK have preferenced female applicants over male applicants since the 1970s, half a century ago. Around two-thirds of the people accepted onto medicine and dentistry degrees courses have been women for many years, up to...
Yeah. The flip in the United States happened in 1979. And when I say the flip, it was 50-50 in 1979. So for the last, how many years is that? 40-something, 48, 40... Fucking, can you do math? No, 49. I don't know. Whatever it is, something. 40-something. Women have outnumbered men in college in the United States. 4 decades, 4.5 decades. So, and yet we still need to do more, don't we? Just ask Campbell Air.
The present day. In other words, 2 women for every man.
Yep.
Equality is a fine thing. For some time, more than 50% of general practitioners, GPs, have been women, and the percentage is rising as the majority of older doctors who are men retire.
Yeah, I mean, almost all of my health care professionals, almost my entire life, have been women. That's fine. I'm still here, so I mean, they obviously knew what they were doing. No problem there.
Because female GPs prefer to work part-time rather than full-time, even when they have no childcare responsibilities, the inevitable result would have been a considerable fall in the capacity of the GP service.
Yeah.
The National Health Service has solved this problem in a scandalous way by poaching doctors from poor countries which can ill afford to lose them, such as India, Pakistan, and Nigeria.
Yeah, we don't have that same issue in the United States. As far as I know, I think women, I think the medical field, it's 50-50 at this point. So women and men. And I don't think we have to poach. Well, it's different, right? National Health Service. Canada might have to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
The waiting times for appointments with the GP service are often so long that people are left with only one option: to attend a local hospital's accident and emergency department, even when their health problems are neither the results of accidents nor emergencies. Predictably, the A&E service is in a permanent crisis with outrageous waiting times. Over the past 50 years in particular, we've seen a considerable increase in the proportion of women in senior positions in major organizations.
Now, let's just talk about the medical thing for a minute. I know obviously United Kingdom is different. Other countries are different. You know, Canada's different. United States, I mean, virtually every corner. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not really. There's emergency care, quick care, fast care. Obviously, you have to have money to pay for it, but it's there, right? There's a hospital right down the road, like on Mexico Road here, I think it is. The Barnes Jewish Hospital. They're, big hospital here. There's hospitals all over the place, doctors, everything. The claim is that the healthcare system in the United States sucks. It's really bad because, oh my God, you have to pay for it in Scandinavia. I understand that. I think it's ripe for some reform in some way. I don't know what to do there. I think maybe, and I hate to fucking let the government do anything, but maybe the government should guarantee, say, a catastrophic healthcare plan for, I don't know, some deduction in your paycheck. I don't know, whatever, $10 a month or something. I mean, like a real catastrophic. And then like if you get cancer or something. And then the regular day-to-day stuff, you can buy a private plan or pay for. I'm sure there's always room for reform. But I don't think going the socialist way is the way, because your taxes are going to obviously have to go up. And maybe that would be a good thing. I don't know, right? I haven't thought it through. But getting the federal government involved any more than they are in our shit kind of gets me a little bit, I get the ick. You know what I mean? Go on.
Predictably, they've extended their historical manipulation of men in the private sphere to men in the public sphere.
But anyway, getting back to the healthcare. Anyone in the United States at any time can stroll into an emergency room and get care. Anyone. You're here legally, you're not legal. It doesn't make any difference. Okay? Laws are set up so that if you come in, you've got a medical problem, they got to take care of you. And then there are, funds like the counties and the cities put money aside for the people who can't afford it. And there's also charity and stuff like that. So even if you don't have insurance, you can run into some place, you break your leg or you get shot or whatever the case may be. They got to take care of you. And it should be that way. Then we'll worry about the money later, but take care of the person, save their lives, whatever. That's the way it is in this country. I don't know if you guys overseas know that, but now you do. Go on.
In the 1997 comedy drama As Good as It Gets, Jack Nicholson plays the part of a best-selling romance novelist with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. He's reluctant to discuss his...
Oh, my God. Do you see who's here? It's Fast Dak. Oh, my God. Dak is here. How's the Dutch? They banned hamsters in Canada in 1979, yeah. Insurance drives up the cost of healthcare. Well, I mean, there is that argument, Brandon, that if you actually saw, what these costs are that are allegedly paid for by the insurance companies, you would demand something better. You would say, I don't know, I'm not going to this hospital, I'm going to go to that hospital. But we have so many places to get healthcare in this country. And you know that, I know that. You drive all the time. You're on the highway. Everywhere you look, there's an emergency care, there's a hospital, there's a a clinic somewhere. It's everywhere. Some small towns, a little more limited, but like here in St. Louis, I mean, everywhere you go, there's a hospital. It's pretty amazing. And obviously they're still in business, so somebody's making money, right?
Books with members of the public. But one day, as he's about to get into a lift, a young female fan rushes up to him excitedly and asks him, "How do you write women so well?"
Ian Blades, you're so nasty. Oh my God.
He replies, "I think of a man and I take away reason and accountability."
Yep.
More than half a century after women entered the workplace in huge numbers, we still have overt and covert programs to recruit and promote women in preference to men in the public and private
here. Hello,
sectors.
Spearman.
Why might the state want as many women as possible in the workplace? Obvious reasons include the wish to increase tax revenues and discourage women from having children in order to control population.
Well, there's that, and there's big lobbies, real estate, automakers, widget makers, but especially real estate. Because you have more people living separately, not married, right? Single people, men and women. You're going to sell more shit, right? You need twice as many refrigerators, twice as many cars, twice as many televisions, etc. See? I mean, there's a lot more to this. There's a lot of dots to connect, but I think you see it makes a lot of sense for some people to be against men and women getting together and having a family. You sell more shit, don't you?
I strongly recommend Jerry Alexander's excellent talk at this event, Feminism's Role in Population Control. A world has been created where women and girls are ever more out of touch with reality. A world that didn't exist before the era of mass communications and social media in particular, when women and girls were confronted with monotonous regularity by the dysfunctionality of so many women and girls.
Yeah, twice the tax revenue, roughly. Yeah. I mean, that gets complicated, right? Because married people allegedly they want to. Kamala Harris wants to give more of a tax credit, for new babies. Of course, if they really cared about having the families, they would make it so they'd marry, and we can't do that. Oh, no. It's for everyone, isn't it? Same in Hungary. A lot of people say, oh, in Hungary, yeah, they're giving all these tax credits to women who have, but they're not married. They don't have to be. You see what I'm saying? If they really wanted families to get together, men and women, they would make it the law so that, you get this tax credit if you're married. But they won't, because that would be really bad, wouldn't it?
But women and girls are reliably narcissistic and gullible, as advertisers have long understood only too well. So they lap up the constant messaging that women and girls are strong, capable, and amazing,
independent,
regardless of the evidence before their eyes to the contrary. The stark truth is that women can't compete with men at the top level in organizations. So the advancement of women into the senior levels of organizations has required overt and covert initiatives to increase their numbers far beyond where merit alone would take them.
He's evil.
In the UK, the organizations which relentlessly send out the message that women and girls are strong and capable include the BBC, of course. A recent BBC piece was about their forthcoming fiction offerings from 8 writers. 7 of them were women, mainly writing about women and girls. The only man on the list was Oscar Wilde, an Irishman who died 124 years ago. The list included no straight men, dead or alive.
Yeah.
What are women's preferences in relation to the world of paid work, beyond wishing to avoid it, if humanly possible? Their preferences have remained remarkably constant, decade after decade.
Oh, God.
Here are my top 10 job element preferences for women.
I think we're going to get canceled for this one.
Number 1, modest hours. From the moment they leave full-time education, women are far more likely than men to not engage in paid employment or to only work part-time, even when they have no children.
Well, I mean, I don't know these statistics here, That doesn't sound reasonable to me, because just like men, women got to eat, they got to pay rent, all that, right? So I don't know about this. I think that's a little bit specious. Go on, Michael.
Number 2, high job security. Only in the public sector are jobs available with a low bar for performance, coupled with high salaries, such as we find for medical doctors. Doctors are never fired for incompetence. They're only fired for killing large numbers of their patients, and even then, only if discovered. Number 3, generous pensions. Public sector pensions are a huge and ever-increasing burden for taxpayers, and men have long paid over 70% of the income tax collected by the government.
Yeah. Most of the private sector in the United States. Pensions, bye-bye, been gone for years. There ain't no, it's 401k and you contribute to it and whatever. But for government workers, I believe there's still a golden parachute pension. I believe that is the case.
Number 4, working...
Unless you're a military guy. Then you get fucked in every way possible by the government.
Alongside colleagues, preferably women, ideally with plenty of time to chat about matters unrelated to work. Number 5, the focus of the organization's work is on sentient beings, usually humans, sometimes animals. Number 6, low accountability.
That's true.
Women take very poorly to criticism, so they seek jobs where they won't be open to criticism, so long as they tick the necessary boxes. It may help explain why administrative work is invariably a female monopoly. Number 7, low expectations of personal initiative, again, in order to avoid criticism.
Again, I don't know where he's getting this stuff from. He might be trying to be funny.
Number 8, the work is all, or almost all, carried out indoors and isn't physically onerous.
That's true.
Number 9, physical harm. Women seek work which is risk-free or close to it because they're risk-averse.
You're going to Chicago, Brandon? Or you are in Chicago? I hope you're going to live stream, because that would be a hoot. MGTOW Cowboy and Polska Bob in Chicago. I wonder if Polska will get Polska'd. Yeah, probably.
Men account for well over 95% of workplace deaths globally. And finally, number 10, women seek jobs with short commuting distances and times. We need only look at the sex breakdown of employees in the public and private sectors. A large majority of employees in the public sector are women, and the results are predictable. Public sector organizations are notoriously slow, unreactive, inefficient, and ineffective, because they can be. Most of the cost of the public sector is picked up by male taxpayers. A majority of employees in the private sector are men, and the results are equally predictable. Private sector organizations are, compared with public sector organizations, fast-moving.
DNC convention, yeah. Well, I heard there was a concert you might be interested in, the Jonas Brothers. Maybe you guys can go see them. Oh my God, wouldn't that be fun?
Reactive, efficient, and effective, because they have to be, or they'll cease to exist. The job preferences of women tell us much about them and how we might expect them to operate in organizations. There isn't even one issue relating to organizational performance where women can be expected to perform as well as men at a senior level, let alone better. This argues against the decade-old global trend of organizations preferencing women over men for senior positions. In this talk, I'll be exploring more than 20 factors negatively affecting women's performance in organizations, and it's far from a comprehensive list.
Okay, my experience, excuse me, with women in engineering, they tend to start out as engineers, but then they advance into like management, and they fit there really well. I mean, they do a good job in the engineering, the ones I've worked with, and they do a good job in the management. This is foreign to me, I guess. You know, whether they got some preference to getting hired because they were, I don't know. But the ones I worked with have done a great job. So this is unusual. This is foreign to me, boy.
The factors include neuroticism, which leads to anxiety, anger, envy, frustration, depressed mood, pessimism, and risk aversion. Other factors.
He wants to go to a Waffles House, does he?
Factors include in-group bias, mission creep, competence, confidence and self-esteem,
Golden Corral,
experience, decisiveness, sense of entitlement.
I would like to go there for breakfast. We should probably try to find one next time, Brandon. I love that buffet. You have all the scrambled eggs and potatoes you want there, you know. Oh, my God, and biscuits and gravy.
Shamelessness and accountability. Competitiveness, work ethic, and productivity. Commitment.
I bet he wants to eat seafood over at the YMCA, doesn't he? Oh, my God. What's the matter with you? Just one beer.
And motivation.
Crazy over
physical and mental energy and focus. Creativity, personal relationships in the workplace, ruthlessness and hierarchy. Collectively, these factors impact negatively on organizational performance, as we would surely expect. I'll start with an example of where the increasing proportion of women in senior levels of organizations has long been known to have a negative impact, namely the impact of increasing the proportion of women on corporate boards. Feminists long ago coined the phrase the glass ceiling, an alleged conspiracy by men to keep women out of senior positions in general and out of boardrooms in particular. The glass ceiling was always a fiction.
But the glass floor is real, though, isn't it?
A matter I explored in my 2011 international bestseller, The Glass Ceiling Delusion.
Yeah, I've not had that experience. Maybe I got lucky in my career, but nah. Most of the women I've worked with are perfectly competent, skilled, talented. Yeah. Again, maybe it's just different. I don't know. We kind of worked in the same sort of areas, Brandon. So, yeah, I've not had that experience. But again, maybe I'm just lucky. Who knows?
The real reasons more women don't reach senior positions. The reason there were historically few women in boardrooms was perfectly simple.
Okay.
The number of women with the necessary experience and expertise was low compared with the number of qualified men, and that remains true to this day. Over 95% of the women appointed to major corporate boards since 2010 have been appointed as non-executive directors. These are posts combining low responsibility and effort with high salaries and prestige, a combination.
Yeah, I can't vouch for what Mike is saying here. But there is that thing that CEOs and, big shot C-suite types at companies, they tend to be kind of neurotic freaking weirdos that all they do is work to get to that point. And if I were female, I would want that position, but I wouldn't want to put in all that crazy 90-hour-a-week effort or 120 hours. I mean, fuck, man, you're always doing something for the company, right? If you're at that kind of level. So it's like women and men want to have a life. That's why we're not all CEOs who want to put in our 40 or 50 and fucking drink on the weekend. What's wrong with that?
Much appreciated by women. I started the website Campaign for Merit in Business in 2012. The same year, I presented to House of Commons and House of Lords inquiries the substantial evidence of a clear causal link between increasing gender diversity on boards and financial performance decline. A little history on the issue of women on boards.
Okay.
In 2005, David Cameron became the leader of the Conservative Party, despite being a progressive on every issue of importance. After the 2010 general election, he became Prime Minister as the head of a coalition between the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats.
All right.
Shortly after the coalition came to power, Cameron announced the appointment of Lord Davis of Abersock, a Labour peer, to head a review with the aim of making recommendations for how, not whether, the proportion of women on corporate boards.
We should make that like a hamsterism or some kind of law of the internet. Who is first to bring up the gay? It's Riggs. It's Riggs. It always is Riggs.
Might be increased.
Usually Father Saunders, but...
The first Davis report was published in February 2012.
Okay.
I shall cover just one sentence in the report's executive summary.
All right.
It starts, evidence suggests that companies with a strong female representation at board and top management levels perform better than those without. And it's associated with a footnote, which I shall come to shortly. Perhaps surprisingly, the statement is true, at least on average, but it's a reference to...
So I guess we have most of the players in the chat, don't we, Brandon? You guys want to go? Seraphim, you ready? Let's let this play a little bit. We'll get some links out and we'll talk about black holes.
Correlation,
it'll be great.
Not causation. In my view, the correlation results from better performing companies being more able and willing to engage in social engineering initiatives, such as increasing gender diversity on boards, sometimes for the PR benefits they deliver. For example, if the companies are retailers. The first footnote points to a report by McKinsey, the global management consultancy firm.
McKinsey.
Nowhere in that McKinsey report is causation claimed, nor is it claimed in any of the huge numbers of similar reports published before and since on the subject of gender diversity on boards.
What was the thing with the magnet, though? I didn't quite get that.
And that gender diverse boards have a positive impact on performance.
Well, we'll just let you wake up there, Seraphim, get some coffee.
Associated with the second footnote. The claim clearly implies a causal link between...
Again, Seraphim, he might drink uranium for breakfast. God damn it, it's the breakfast of champions. Who knows?
The increasing boardroom gender diversity and improved performance. In other words, a business case for appointing more women to boards. So, what is the second footnote provided by the report's authors to justify their claim? If we scroll down the page, we see a blank. The writers of the report could find no material to justify their absurd claim, hardly surprisingly, and they couldn't even be bothered to remove this blank footnote to hide the fact, knowing that they wouldn't be held accountable by anyone, let alone the media. It needs hardly to be said that the mainstream media never drew attention to this matter, nor have they ever published articles pointing to the known causal link between increasing gender diversity on boards and financial performance decline. In the 13 years since the first Davis report was published. The viewer may reasonably wonder why McKinsey would engage in the effort to increase the number of women on corporate boards. I believe it's because the more women there are on boards, the more inexperienced the boards are. So they will have to rely more on external experience and expertise from management consultancies such as McKinsey. McKinsey are far from alone. Many other consultancies have joined the effort to increase the number of women on boards, and none have blown the whistle on the causal link I described earlier. In my 2020 ICMI talk titled Why Women Fail to Compete Successfully with Men and Will Always Fail, I included details from an analysis by August Levensky-Olds for A Voice for Men. It showed that the performance of female Fortune 500 CEOs was truly appalling compared with their male counterparts. What are the chances? Barely a week goes by that my attention isn't drawn to an article claiming that appointing more women to boards will increase company profitability. For some years...
Well, hey, guys, I gotta go take a dump. So I'm gonna share this one for now, and then I'll be right back. And Brandon, True Blood, and Seraphim, we're gonna go live. So. They cordoned off the entire
they
facility.
did. Oh my God.
Technology, whatever it was, technology corner or something. They shut off all the entrances so nobody could get in there, and they shut off the 290 to Bergstrom Airport, because Trump would have to land at Bergstrom and then drive up, because it was 15 miles, maybe 20 miles. And so they had, all the Secret Service people, local cops, probably Texas Rangers, Highway Patrol, all these guys. So they blocked off 290 from the airport, and that's where Trump came in. Never got to see Trump because he was over at the other building, and you had to go through security. You had to get the metal detector and all that shit if you wanted to be actually in the rally over there. And so they started doing this at like 4 in the morning, I believe. 4:30 in the morning. They blocked everything off. And then all the cars, you know, they didn't search you, but they kind of gave you the stink eye. It's like, I wonder where this car is going, et cetera, something like that. And I believe, as I recall, they wouldn't let you leave the area for like an hour and a half after Trump got to, you know, after he left already, right? He got in the beast, as they call it, and went back to the airport. And they wouldn't let us leave. We had to sit there till like 6 o'clock. Now, I'm not sure why that is, but they wouldn't let us go. And I eventually got home about like 6:30. I only lived like 2 minutes away. But, you know, I had to go to the beer store. So I had to go to my beloved HEB there in Texas.
But the president's not supposed to be here for like another half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yep. It's about right.
I wonder if we get to see the Alex Jones car go. I think the Alex Jones is in there. Yeah. All right, let's forward a little bit.
I'm sure he's hoping to see Air Force.
Yeah, that guy knows what he's doing. Parks under that big tree there every day. Oh my God.
I can hear it a little bit, but not too much.
What can you hear?
Yeah. Thing is, though, it was November, but it was still like 89 degrees. God damn.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad, though. You know, it wasn't as terrible as, you know, the middle of July or August, admittedly.
Yeah. Texas is hot. I can hear it a little bit, but not too much.
I think I said that in the video. These Teslas over here. A couple of these guys had the
Trump
Teslas
in diapers or something.
They
were beating it up.
Baby Trump, yes. Yeah. The Teslas have fans in them. And when it gets really hot like this, the fans come on because the batteries get too hot. Yeah, true story. Go ahead.
Right, they were beating it up. Oh, it's funny.
Stir it up, boys.
Yeah. Thing is, though, it was November, but it was still like 89 degrees.
And it was that year, too, that I've got video when I was at the apartment. And I was only there for like another 6 weeks. Then I went back to my beloved Colorado. But there was ice and snow that year, at least when I was there, like end of November, something like that. Yeah, it's interesting.
God damn.
Yeah,
Texas is hot. I can hear it a little bit, but not too much.
Okay. Well, we don't know what you're hearing, hamster, so you should have said it.
What they're saying at this point is fuck Hillary.
Oh, it was the Alex Jones?
That's what they were saying.
Oh, yeah. You probably can't hear it, but it's something like
blah, blah, blah. Or fuck Trump. I don't know. Something like that.
Fuck somebody, for sure. Yeah.
I can hear the wind's blowing from the south, so it's carrying the sound. But you probably. How much for that Subaru, man? How much for this Subaru, man? There's my thing that I never figured out what the hell it was.
How many torpedoes have I had at this point? Oh, my God.
Must be some kind of cooling thing. I don't know, but maybe a swamp cooler, a big one.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, we don't.
Down there, like a little baby Trump in diapers or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They were beating it up.
And there's a Tesla.
Oh, that's funny.
Here it comes. There it is. Yeah. Tesla.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were about, I guess, a half a mile. They did the rally was up over in here on the other side of the building, and this road was cut off, pretty much closed. And I think there's a video. I think there was a Secret Service Suburban here somewhere. I don't know if I got that.
Sergeant. I can hear it a little bit, but not too much.
Oh, Sergeant Grinch! Oh my God! Oh my God! You were on one of my earlier videos. Oh my God!
Putting out the wind noise.
Oh Jesus! I feel like a brand new man. Oh my God! Oh, thank you, Lord. Oh my God! Go on.
I contacted the authors of such articles, almost invariably women, and presented the evidence.
You send out the link here so we can get started.
Opposite. Very rarely did I get any responses. The few people who did respond said they'd look at the evidence I'd submitted and reply to me. None of them ever did reply.
There's a link if you want to
Among other things,
pop in.
it was an example of female shamelessness. As in their private lives, women are prepared to lie to get what they want and feel perfectly justified in doing so.
Oh my God.
Few men are prepared to call them out on it, sadly.
Evil!
This is true also in organizations, which inevitably has the result of weakening them. I'll speak now about neuroticism, a personality trait associated with negative emotions. Individuals with high score on neuroticism are more likely than average to experience such feelings as anxiety, worry, fear, anger, frustration, envy, jealousy, pessimism, guilt, depressed mood, and loneliness. Women score higher than men when tested for neuroticism, and this must have negative consequences for organizations, as more women are recruited and promoted to senior positions. How can women perform well at senior levels when they're experiencing anxiety, worry, fear, anger, frustration, envy, jealousy, pessimism, guilt, depressed mood, and loneliness? They can't. It's often said that it's lonely at the top, and maybe that goes some way to explaining why women so seldom have the ambition to lead major organizations. Women appear hardwired to be more anxious than men, far beyond what is objectively justified. They are fearful of male violence to an extent which is quite ridiculous. God. But of course, this fear is...
Oh my God, he's here. It's Brandon Trueblood. Some bitch, man. What's up?
What's up?
How are you big stud?
Oh, I'm doing good, hamster. How you doing?
Same old shit. I just took a massive dump. It was great.
I know, aren't they? They're just fucking great. I love taking good shit.
Oh, whoa, yeah. Well, I've been up since like 4 o'clock. So it just works. It works out that way,
Oh yeah.
When you got yourself a chili, oh my God. Oh baby. All right, so we're with Seraphim's going to come in.
I hope so.
I mean, everybody's welcome to come in. So if you want to, feel free. Ramadi.
Well, let's hold off on those guys until after Seraphim gets done saying his piece.
Aha. So now this is your channel. Is that right?
Just the other day I was having a hard time, trying to understand what he was saying with everybody going blah 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 blah.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think he's coming in.
Hey, Seraphim.
James is here. Hello, James.
I even made that beautiful, beautiful art for this stream.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one with the magnet or the other one with the redheads?
The one with the magnet and the angel, because Seraphim's an angel.
Oh, okay.
And the pig on
what
the
hell
wall.
That was. Yeah. Okay.
You don't know your Bible, do you?
Well. Well, I guess.
I think it's kind of funny, though, because Seraphim's an atheist, but he's got an angel for a name.
He's an atheist. What's the matter with him? Let's see here.
He thinks differently.
Share.
It's all about belief and faith and all that.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Share with Gmail. Let me see if I can find myself. Oh, there it is. The second picture is StreamYard friendly. Okay. I will send it. Let's see. To me. Subject. From to me. Oh, how does that work? I can set it to myself.
Yeah, you type in your email address.
Wow, this technology is amazing. It's like so good. So what do you think of this Buchanan guy?
I think he's pretty well spoken. I'd like to see his facts.
Yeah. I hear a lot of things and not sure I agree with that, but I don't know.
Anecdotally, he's right on.
Yeah.
It's about what I believe, but a lot of the stuff I believe is bullshit.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you know, but Buchanan and Hobson are kind of in the same realm. Justice for Men and Boys and all that. So
yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, some of this is like, little iffy. I guess we can listen to it a little bit while we're waiting on Seraphim. You ready?
Well, look at what fucking happened to GE when they switched over to feminine leadership.
What happened? I don't know.
General Electric went from being the largest company in the world to barely fucking hanging on.
Well, I mean, didn't that one guy come in and kind of shake things up, whatever his name was?
Jack Welch?
Yeah, Jack Welch.
Yeah, but that was 30 years ago.
Right. But the cancer continues in some companies that I might work at or have worked at. Just saying. Don't dox me, bro. Don't dox me. Oh, my God. So, I don't know. I don't know about this female takeover shit. One of the companies I worked for, there was a female CEO. I mean, I've just not had any problems.
Yeah, well, you've been lucky.
I think so. Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, Seraphim, get your fucking Polish ass in here. Polska Bob tonight.
I don't think Polska Bob identifies with his Polishness.
I'm just going to ask him 20 times while we're talking if we can get kolaches.
I keep asking him that too, and he does.
He hates that.
I know. I mean, I like those. Is it kolache? Not kolaches. What's the other one? The other thing. One beer and you're all crazy. What is that? The little dough balls with the potatoes in them.
I don't know what the Polish call it, but in Ukraine they're called vareniki.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have like potato and onion in there, some cheese stuff,
or whatever. They put whatever in there.
Right? Yeah, whatever's handy. Beets, whatever. Right.
They make dessert ones that are great too, with cherries and fruit. Oh, it's fucking great.
I mean, I know somebody's going to tell us what it is, but my brain's just dead this morning. I don't know what's going on. I haven't even had much to drink. It's crazy.
And then in Georgia, they make the same damn thing, but it's the size of your fist.
Oh, it's pierogi.
Oh, pierogies. Yeah, pierogies are great too.
Yeah. Let's see. Can I save this fucking thing? What the hell? What is going on, man? Let's see. Download. Okay. Let's see here. So I can put that on the... Fuck me. Where is it? Images.
I'm not going to fuck ya. I don't care how much you fucking buy me dinner.
Oh, stop it. You know you want it, big boy. Oh, are you drinking beer as well? Oh, my God.
I'm drinking water.
Oh, no. Let's see. Jesus, water. Hamster. Let me see if I can get this loaded up here.
Well, you're
I'm going to call it the Jesus hamster. Oh, no. Where the hell am I here? All right. There's so many things going on at the same time. I don't know what to do anymore. Oh, my God. Let's see, I should be able to update I hope so. Update audio avatar. Oh, God, I got to add it. All right, Jesus, come on. Oh, boy. Suddenly, my nose is leaking.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah. Let's see. Downloads. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh, no. Probably. Well, you keep talking. I'll find it here. Don't worry.
Well, I sure hope Seraphim comes, because I think we may have some problem with the language, because English is not his first language.
Oh, okay.
And the other day he was talking about how mass changes depending on where you are. And I think that he is interchanging mass and
weight. Yeah.
Yeah, because mass is constant no matter where you are. And weight is a force, because it's your mass being accelerated towards the center of the earth. And that does change, because gravity, the strength of the gravity where you are depends, in the extreme case, you can, compare the astronauts that went to the moon and they weighed 1/6 what they do on the Earth. You know, because gravity changes depending on how far you are from the center of mass.
Right. Well, yeah, it's mass is different.
So I
weight
think
is a force and mass is a constant. Well, not a constant, but yeah,
it is a constant. Mass is a constant. It doesn't change. And then another thing that that we were always taught was that the speed of light for the the E equals MC squared equation, they always say the speed of light in a vacuum. And the actual equation is plus or minus mass, because that takes into account antimatter, which we know exists because of places like CERN, because they can create it, times the speed of light squared, the speed of light in a vacuum squared. And that's all in the education. The common vernacular, people just equals the mass of the speed of light squared. Doesn't say that. But in the textbooks, it certainly does. We know that, just like you guys were talking about the other day, that when you pass light through different
different
materials,
mediums,
it changes speed. But the speed is constant in those materials.
Well, let's bring Seraphim on and see what he has to say.
Absolutely.
Go, Seraphim. Hey, buddy.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Howdy.
Notice my beautiful new avatar.
Howdy. Yeah, nice job, Brandon.
So, Brandon says you're a Polak. Is that true, Seraphim?
That is true. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Polish. Nice.
I'm Polish man. Yeah. I live in Switzerland since 40 years now.
40 years. Wow. Yeah, my father's from Hungary, so we're kind of in the same ballpark. But I think we talked about that the other day. Anyway, you two go. Talk about the speed of light in a medium and all that, because it's interesting. I think so.
Okay, so
bring on the science, boys. I'm going to get another beer. Go.
Okay, how I said last time, we have only two premises for the nature of the universe, right? One is atomistic, right? Is all particles, and the other one is the ether. So we already know how atoms see everything as particles, right? So I can tell you which new particle they're gonna invent next. It's the graviton. I'm not kidding. Now, I was always fascinated by magnets, and only in 2015 I found Ken Wheeler, who wrote the book about magnetism, and it was the first time someone explained me how it works. It's why I sent to Brandon and to you a video explaining exactly the magnetic field and what magnet is.
Why don't you shoot me the video? Maybe we can play it while we're talking.
He already did on an email, Hamster.
Oh, you sent it to me. Okay, yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's in part 2 in your email.
Okay, thank you. Go on, boys.
I have a question for you, Seraphim.
Please go ahead.
Using the ether model, why does light appear to have a constant speed? In a vacuum.
It's a rate of induction. It's not speed.
What I didn't say in rate of induction or anything like that. I'm asking, why does it appear to an observer to have a constant speed in a vacuum using the bottle?
I guess we observe the same phenomenon, right? But we have different conclusions.
I mean, didn't Einstein come up with no matter what your frame of reference is, light is the same speed in a vacuum? I thought that's what he said.
No, I say that light doesn't travel and has no speed in this model. It's a rate of a propagation of or induction.
So it's a rate of.
You cut off.
You dropped Brandon. Yeah. He's still here, sir. I mean, just his audio got cut off.
Okay.
He's too lazy to pull out the real headset. He's using his phone, the bastard. I tell you.
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's the rate of propagation of induction. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, it's a rate of induction. Yes.
All right. What is the ether?
That's a very pertinent question. Now, I need to reframe it a little bit to answer that, because you are using the word "is," which implies that ether is something material, which is not. Now, if I say how we define ether, it's easier to answer that
okay
way. So the closest to the definition of it is energy and field.
Now, it used to be the thought process 100 years ago was that radio waves and light and everything was propagated through ether. There was some material. It wasn't just free space. It was some material. That was the belief 100 years ago, 150 years ago. So anyway, just for context.
Yeah, in the school book, if you want, they say that the particle has 99.99999 empty space, right? And that is not empty space. It's the ether.
So what is this ether made out of? Is there like antimatter or something?
No. So I contested that equation of Einstein, E equals mc squared, because energy is rest. That's what it is. It's pure potential.
Hello?
Someone's getting loud up in there. Is that you, Brandon? Oh my God.
I'll shut my truck off.
Yeah.
I'll shut my truck off. Sorry.
No, that's all right. We hear you. Don't worry.
Drop the link again. I'll drop out and put on my headphones. Sorry about all this noise.
Oh my God. I will do that right now. Invite. All right. Copy. Paste. All right. 1 second. Let's see if Brandon can get his headphones on here. So he can just sound so beautiful. You know what I mean, Seraphim? Like he normally does.
Yeah. Did you found the link, Hamster?
Well, okay. There's two different. I just dropped the link for for Brandon, and I'm looking for the other link.
Yep.
I'll find it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Just got to forward it over to myself. It's all right. Got it. Oh, there he is.
So,
all right, Brandon, you're back.
Sorry about the noise, brothers.
Yeah, man.
No worry.
Well, what I was able to read on Ether was it is a theoretical medium.
We can call it like this, but it's not exactly the definition, right? I looked for you to find a book just about the ether, but I didn't find anything. Maybe you help me write one. I don't know.
Copy to me. Yeah.
So what?
We need to talk here if we're doing a stream, guys. So whatever you're doing. Sorry
Okay,
for clearing
so
my throat there. I thought I
continue.
was on mute. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Okay, so when I saw that first video of Ken, from Ken, what I decided to do is to order one of those devices and try his experiments just to prove him wrong, at first. But I couldn't. I could successfully reproduce all what he shows.
Yes. I'm sorry, I must have dropped there when I was trying to read the definition. I couldn't find the definition of ether in any physics textbooks from,
Me
that
neither.
aren't more than
Yeah, but there is nothing that
you can certainly make a you can certainly make a device like he made in that video quite easily using toner and oil, copy toner, and you make yourself your own magnetic. What is it? What do they call that stuff?
ferrocell. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but
it's a
ferrofluid.
flux capacitor. Yeah. My God, yeah.
No, it's a ferrofluid.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Oh no, I'm aware of it. Yeah. It's actually pretty fucking cool.
They are.
Why?
They're even cooler when you have a bunch of it and you hold your magnet near it. It'll actually make, like, it gets all bumpy and spiky and stuff, and depending on how close you get your magnet to it, it changes.
Yeah.
So
you better wear gloves, because it's really messy.
Yes, it is. Well, it's copy toner. So yeah.
So when you're ready, Hamster, I'd suggest you play the video, please.
Okay, I went to the donkey. I got the wrong. Yeah, I found the donkey.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So where's the other links? Is it still in Gmail?
I'll send it to you.
Well, I mean, you can share it too.
One second. I gonna find it and post it in the chat as well.
Yeah. Do please. Yeah. Okay. I see it. Yeah. I got it. Okay. Yep. I got it. Yeah, under a different name. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can share it. I got it. Okay, so here's the video that you sent me, Seraphim. Let's see here. present. Oh, let's see. Got to do the right thing here. Okay, hold on. Make sure we're not giving anybody's shit away here. I think we're good. All right. So here is the video from Seraphim. If I can fucking find where the hell I am. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. We're going to play the whole, or put the whole video up all by itself. We'll see what happens. You guys ready?
Go ahead.
Then we'll do the donkey later.
Yeah.
The donkey. All right. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here it is.
Hello, everybody. I was able to create a even more powerful or sensitive supercell using the same chemicals as before. It leaves nice stains on my tabletop by changing the process. And I'm actually able to see concentric circles around the centipedal.
Okay, so Seraphim, if you can explain, what are we going to see here? Like a preview.
Okay, so what? Yes, sure. So what we're gonna see is the magnetic field in real time.
Okay.
It's not a projection device or a computer simulation. It's just two pieces of flat glass with some liquid in between, right? Some LEDs around just so to have
To
some
light
light.
it up? Yeah, sure.
Yep. And he's gonna use different shape of magnets to show you the magnetic field in real time.
And different strengths of magnets as well.
As well.
And the fluid is ferromagnetic fluid?
Yep, it's just straight up toner and oil.
All right, well, let's look at it. Here we go.
Convergent field around a magnet. Let's first take a look. By the way, these are just two optically flat pieces of glass, and this is just some hardware LED that you can get at like Lowe's or Home Depot. The reason why I actually have three pieces of transparent tape holding it together is because when the supercells are really, really sensitive like this, the problem is that they're easy to destroy. It's kind of like you can create something that's a lot more sensitive, but usually more sensitive instruments are more easy to destroy. So this lets me actually take it apart in about 1 minute and rebuild it in about 5 minutes. And these chemicals over here, literally I could rebuild this thing about 1,000 times. Let's take a look at a speaker magnet, which is not a strong magnet. It's just a ferrite magnet. Let's actually place it underneath the supercell. And of course, this is a toroidal. So the actual magnet itself is shaped basically like the toroidal field of a magnet. You'll see something interesting, and then I'll zoom in. Here we go. Let's actually see it. Now, the interesting thing, you can actually see the donut shape. Isn't this fascinating? The holography.
Toroid,
now, you know the hologram on your credit card, right? Well, a true art hologram, which most people have never seen, is about 100 times better than that, if not more, depending on how good the true art hologram is. Now, what we actually have here is less than a few microns thin. In other words, the liquid, there's just a few drops of liquid between these two pieces of ultra flat glass. Once you actually press the glass together, most of the liquid squishes out the side and you wipe it off and it leaves stains on your fingerprints. So what we actually have here is across this this is about roughly about 10 square inches of glass in total. We have less than about, maybe like 1/50th of a drop of liquid, maybe 1/50th. And yet we have incredible holographic. Specifically, this is magnetoholography. Now, of course, you can see the donut shape. There's nothing here, by the way. This is not a projection device. This is literally just LEDs, like for the edge lighting of your cabinet. So there's just light shining inwards. By the way, about 2 years ago, people said, well, you're just looking at the number of lights here. It's like, that's not true. I created one of these devices where the light pours in from the sun, so only one light source. So the sun was able to wrap around in a tent-like structure and shoot inwards into the cell, and you get the exact same thing from a single light source, which is the sun. No batteries, no LEDs, nothing, just the sun powering it. Now, the ceramic or the speaker magnet, of course, is squared off. So it's obviously not rounded, but it doesn't matter what shape the magnet is. The actual centrifugal divergent force and motion vectors that actually show the magnetic and dielectric field. And this is the reason why we see lines, where you see constructive.
Whoa. Excuse me. The magnetic and dielectric fields? What the fuck is that? Come on now. What are we talking about here, Seraphim?
what he said exactly. A magnet, in fact, is a dielectric point source object, and you can't have magnetism without dielectric.
I'm pretty sure that's not true, though. You could have magnets in space, and there's no dielectric there. So maybe we just have a different definition of dielectric.
That's the second thing we were going to talk about, but yeah, we do have a different definition.
Okay.
You can find references to this stuff in 19th century science textbooks.
Because I mean, when I hear dielectric, I'm thinking electric, right?
Yes.
You're thinking of material and fields that go through material.
The dielectric constant in capacitors and all that. That's what
right.
About.
Yeah, exactly.
See, we're not using the same language, and that's why it gets confusing.
8.87 times 10 to the minus 12 farads per meter, I believe. That's what
air. That's the dielectric constant of air,
yeah. And then you multiply that by the ER, which is the relative constant and blah, 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 right? You get there. Okay. All right. Not a showstopper, but it's just magnetic fields don't really care about dielectric stuff.
Well, that's the thing, Hamster, is when you're using the
fluid,
when you're using the ether model, a lot of the definitions are different than what we have been taught. So we have to. That's why we have to go through and define these words. What does dielectric mean in the ether model? And then maybe we can understand more about what he's talking about.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's why we're here, to discuss it. You have something to say, Seraphim?
Keep going.
Okay, here we go.
And destructive interference is perfectly toroidal or donut shaped. And of course, the negative image of a donut shape is, of course, a hyperboloid or an hourglass shape. So if you actually take the negative image of this, you will see the dielectric. Now, this is a really weak magnet. I'll show you a really powerful magnet here in a second. And I'll show you how much more sensitive this structure, this new super sensitive supercell is. But look, as I actually skim along the edge. Now, realize that the liquid showing the constructive and destructive interference is infinitely thinner than a human hair. And what we're doing is we're using the light in the dispersed ferrofluid. The ferrofluid is not clumping, by the way. The dispersed ferrofluid is all through this. The only reason why you're seeing light stripes in certain areas and dark stripes in others is constructive and destructive interference between the magnetic and dielectric. Now, I'll explain this in other videos, and I have in the past, but also in my book. You see these little bright spots right here. There's little tiny bright spots along the lines of intersection. You see those here? Let me actually zoom in a little better. You see these little bright spots right here and here and here? You notice they occur at lines of intersection, right? Let me actually. Now, this supercell is so sensitive that I actually have to keep moving the magnet. Otherwise, it'll burn in. You can see like a light burn-in mark. It's not literally burn. I just call it burn because it's so sensitive, the powerful magnetic field. Even though it's a weak ferrite magnet, is so powerful that it's destroying the supercell. Like I said, that's why I've got it taped so I can take it apart really quickly. Let's go top down. Kind of looks like a black hole, huh?
Okay.
Here you see the hypertrochoid.
Like
okay, one second, please. A speaker magnet is not a lightweight magnet. It's pretty magnetic. Now, for you young guys, it's like, what do you mean speaker magnets? Oh my God, you're evil. There's a big old magnet in there, and there's a coil around that, and that's how that speaker moves. Oh my God, I know, right?
No, you're correct, James.
This is not a speaker magnet, though. You wouldn't have a toroid for a speaker magnet normally, but it doesn't matter. It's just details, right?
But those are ferroid magnets. It's not neodymium.
No, I understand. Yeah, it's just a regular magnet, but not sure it's a speaker magnet. But that's okay. Let's go on. Go ahead.
Maybe like a wolf,
like you see in a dream catcher.
Normally, they would put the magnetic. Excuse me. The magnet would be formed around the speaker cone, and there'd be a magnet thing sticking. So when the coil does its thing, it's details. Let's go.
A pattern you see in the center of a dream catcher is a hypertrochoidal pattern. Yeah.
Oh God, a dream
Let's
catcher.
actually take the speaker magnet out, and let's do a ring magnets. Really powerful ring magnets like this destroy it rather easy. Let's take this little square cube neodymium iron boron. Okay, let's place it there. And also, too, I could place it on top. Let's place it on top for a second. Okay. There we go.
Yes.
Let's zoom in and do that, huh?
Okay.
Doesn't matter whether I place it on the top or the bottom. The magnetic field penetrates through absolutely everything.
Yes.
Absolutely everything. But let's
including the dielectric material.
The supercell here.
Rental search taking up your mental real estate?
Would you want to grab dinner sometime?
I'd love to live in a building that accepts my dog. She doesn't even bark that much.
Good God.
There you go.
All right.
Focus.
Yep.
There we go.
I see it.
Now let's zoom in a little bit here. Of course, the way the contrast, you can actually see rings along the, looks like an owl's face, doesn't it? This is the secret of Mother Nature here. This is the actual constructive and destructive interference. Here's one pole, here's another pole. But a magnet doesn't actually have poles. What it has is the inverse of counter space, which is specifically force and motion. See centrifugal divergent magnetic field, which of course is not literally being emitted from the magnet. It's literally the ether itself under polarized deformation from the field of the point source singularity that is what defines the magnet. Because a magnet is not defined by what is quantitative, rather by what is qualitative. And I've explained this 1,000 times, and also too, including my book. I'll show you one pole of the magnet here. Let's zoom in. Sorry about that shaky video, but if I zoom in here, you can actually see little concentric circles in the middle. Now you notice how small the black spot is. Of course, where it's black is a dielectric. This is constructive and destructive interference between the magnetic and the dielectric. This is literally the lotus blossom. It kind of looks like a lotus blossom, doesn't it? But specifically from up above, it looks like a dream catcher. It's a hypertrochoidal pattern of constructive and destructive interference. So literally the interplay between magnetic and dielectric, because magnetism is the dielectric field. Let me give you the perfect analogy, and this is destructive to the supercell. Use this really powerful N60 Gauss magnet. People don't understand that actually a more powerful magnet actually has a smaller spatial magnetic field. The reason being, and the only kind of good analogy I could come up with where people would understand it in their brains is that when you amp up one thing, you also amp up another. So you can't actually make a more powerful magnet without creating a more powerful dielectric field. And by creating a more powerful dielectric field, and this is kind of like the cheap man's version of a black hole, is literally the center black portion will be huge on this really, really powerful N60 Gauss neodymium iron boron. Also, too, the spatial field is smaller. This is why people buy really powerful magnets. They say, I don't understand. I bought a really powerful magnet, and I think I got screwed because the spatial field around it. In other words, you have to get a lot closer to a piece of metal to feel the quote-unquote attraction. And by the way, there's no such thing as magnetic attraction. It's dielectric acceleration. Magnetism is, by definition and denotation, force and motion. Let me actually...
Okay. I'm sorry.
Move it over here.
I'm sorry. This is horseshit. I don't know what to say about this. He's using a lot of words. Beryllium. I said, but it's horseshit. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe you can explain it, Seraphim. Because he's full of shit. He's saying a lot of words really fast, and I don't like that.
Yeah, he's going. Okay,
he's going fast because he wants to just because it's a gish gallop. Oh my God, it's the beryllium thing and the sun. But please,
no, I don't think so. I think he's going fast just because he knows his thing, and he speaks like this. You know.
I think he's going fast because he knows we don't know his thing. That's a difference.
Look, if you want, we have the option to slow down the video, right? So
You want to try that?
Well, it's up to you.
We'll go to half speed. All right, let's hear that again. Ready?
Trick. This is constructive and destructive interference between the magnetic and the dielectric. This is literally the lotus blossom. It kind of looks like a lotus blossom, doesn't it? But specifically, from up above, it looks like a dream catcher. It's a hypertrochoidal pattern of constructive and destructive interference.
What did he say?
From up above, it looks like a dream catcher. It's a hypertrochoidal pattern of constructive and destructive interference. So really the interplay between magnetic and dielectric, because magnetism is the dielectric field. Let me give you the perfect analogy, and this is just wrong.
Let me set it to 3/4. That's a little bit much there. Hold on.
Okay,
Whoa.
you go.
Oh, I did the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm sorry, Brandon. Go ahead.
Well, you know, all kinds of these words that he's throwing out there are not being used as they were, you know, as you'll find them in the dictionary. Hypertrophy is like something that grows abnormally large. Hypertrochoidal is a array that is very, very large. So when he says it's a hypertrochoidal pattern, what exactly does he mean by that?
I think it's the name of the geometry.
Right,
Like,
but I just gave you the definition, the geometric definition of what a hypertrochoid is. You know, I've looked at this guy's geometry and where he was discussing circles and phi and phi, and he's an idiot. He's not correct on a lot of that stuff. He does exactly like he's doing here with the magnetism, but he uses words that are not correct to describe what he's trying to describe. And he and I don't have a language barrier. He is a Native American, he's an English-speaking guy.
Yeah.
And his geometry when he's trying to explain Euclid is not correct.
Okay. I don't take everything he said. Let me rephrase. I take everything he says with a grain of salt.
Okay.
I am not a believer. Don't call me atheist again.
No. I thought you were. My mistake. I am sorry. I apologize.
But I mean, he's gish galloping a bunch of words. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I hear, Seraphim. I mean, I'm not slamming the guy, but he might be right. But I don't know.
Look, what is interesting, I think, is to watch the video, not necessarily, take everything he says, as.
Well, you sent this to us to explain what ether was.
What magnetism was. In fact.
Okay.
We shall continue.
Yeah.
Counter space, which is specifically force and motion. See centrifugal divergent magnetic field.
I mean, that's there you go. Centrifugal magnetic. Come on.
Yeah, centrifugal. It has to deal with
centrifugal means from center. from center away from center, right?
In a rotating mass.
In a torque, for example, or yeah.
This magnet's not rotating. You don't get centrifugal forces from stationary objects.
Well, I beg to differ. I
mean,
think
how? That's not arguable. If you have a cup full of water, if you're holding a string attached to that cup, it will stay in the water as long as the bottom of the cup is pointed down. But if you swing that cup around, the water will also stay in the cup. But if you put your cup above your head with the bottom facing up and don't swing it, the water is going to fall on your head. It's not arguable. That's a centrifugal force.
Yeah, that's correct.
This is horse shit.
Well, let's let the video play out though, and it might make sense at some point. So,
all right.
And again, Seraphim, please don't take it wrong. We're not going against you and saying you're an idiot or something.
No.
We're just having a discussion. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't take it the wrong way.
I don't take it personally, for sure.
Well, of course, we're engineers, and it's like that's what we do.
Yeah,
we question what the other people are thinking. So, all right. I just don't want you to take it the wrong way because you seem like a nice guy, a smart guy. So
I never pretended to be someone I'm not. I told you I'm not engineer. I'm just passionate by this subject matter.
That's good. I think we need people like you to come up and say, "Hey, this is fucked up. Look at this." I like it, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
and I really like you as a person too. So it's not, we are not going after you.
No, it's not that at all. So let's go through the rest of this.
No worries.
Which of course is not literally being emitted from the magnet. It's literally the ether itself under polarized deformation from the field of the point source singularity that is what defines the magnet. Because a magnet is not defined by what is quantitative, rather by what is qualitative.
It's a two-pole
I've
magnet.
explained this 1,000 times, and also including my book. I'll show you one pole of the magnet here. Let's zoom in. Sorry about that shaky video, but if I zoom in here, you can actually see little concentric circles in the middle. Now you notice how small the black spot is. Of course, where it's black is a dielectric. This is constructive and destructive interference between the magnetic and the dielectric. This is literally the lotus blossom. It kind of looks like a lotus blossom, doesn't it? But specifically from up above, it looks like a dream catcher. It's a hypertrochoidal pattern of
Well, but that's not real, though. That's
what's
fake.
not real.
Magnetic field lines do not cross each other like that. That's not a magnet. There's something else going on here.
No. Look, I ordered one of those devices, ferrocells, right? And bought a bunch of magnets, strong magnets. My goal was to, like you said, prove him wrong. That is bullshit, and so on. And what happened is that I got exactly the same images at home, in my kitchen, right? So
well, what you're
this is
seeing
not.
There is
this is the way magnets work. The magnetic fields, they do not cross, and when they do, there's a big fucking problem. Like at the sun, sometimes it happens.
Right. What you're seeing on the other picture where they're crossing, you're not seeing the magnetic lines of flux. What you're seeing is the amplitude of magnetism in the ferrofluid itself. You're not seeing the actual magnetic lines of flux. You're seeing how the magnet affects the ferrofluid.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds correct. Yes.
Fair enough. I'm willing to be wrong. Go on.
Well, you're
Do
not
you
wrong.
notice how small the black spot is? Of course, where it's black is a dielectric. This is constructive and destructive interference between the magnetic and the dielectric. This
Can we
is
stop right
literally
there?
the lotus.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason it's black is because you're using fucking toner, and there's a concentration of magnetic force that draws the toner right to that spot, and it does not allow light to permeate it. The light is coming in all the way around from the outside in. That's what you're fucking seeing.
What you see is a top view of the magnet.
Right.
Right here.
And would you not agree that the strongest point of magnetism is the pole?
Yes and no. Because look,
that's where the most concentrated force is.
yes, but the magnetic field is around the magnet.
Oh, that's true. It is around the magnet. It goes. I don't want to get into the semantics of it too much, so please excuse me. It goes from the South Pole to the North.
Yeah.
And it has to go. We call that in like Maxwellian physics, we call those lines of flux, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what it's called in ether physics.
You guys aren't talking again.
No, I'm talking. I guess you can't hear me.
No, I went to get a beer. Sorry.
Oh.
I hear you.
Right.
Okay. We're going to continue.
Where those lines of flux all come together is called a pole. So that's your highest concentration magnetic force is at your pole.
Right.
Yes, but it's not in the center of the magnet. It's around the magnet.
It could be the angle of the video, though. Who knows?
Yeah. The fields, the lines of flux diverge and then converge. They diverge from one pole, come out, go around the magnet, and then converge back at the other end. At the opposite pole. It's divergent and convergent.
Yes.
The field is.
Oh.
So at the point of divergence and the point of convergence is where you have the highest concentration of the lines of flux.
Okay. Shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Blossom. It kind of looks like a lotus blossom, doesn't it? But specifically, from up above, it looks like a dream catcher. It's a hypertrochoidal pattern of constructive and destructive interference. So really the interplay between magnetic and dielectric, because magnetism is the dielectric field. Let me give you the perfect analogy, and this is destructive to the supercell. Use this really powerful N60 Gauss magnet.
Here we go.
People don't understand that actually a more powerful magnet actually has a smaller spatial magnetic field. The reason being, and the only kind of good analogy I could come up with where people would understand it in their brains is that when you amp up one thing, you also amp up another. So you can't actually make a more powerful magnet without creating a more powerful dielectric field. And by creating a more powerful dielectric field, and this is kind of like the cheap man's version of a black hole, is literally the center black portion will be huge on this really, really powerful N60 Gauss neodymium iron boron. Also, too, the spatial field is smaller. This is why people buy really powerful magnets. They say, I don't understand. I bought a really powerful magnet, and I think I got screwed because of the spatial field around it. In other words, you have to get a lot closer to a piece of metal to feel the quote-unquote attraction. And by the way, there's no such thing as magnetic attraction. It's dielectric acceleration. Magnetism is, by definition and denotation, force in motion. Let me actually
All right,
let's move it over here, and I'll show you how big.
Mm-hmm.
See how huge the black hole is, or the black section.
Yeah.
The dielectric portal is on this
Dielectric
magnet,
portal.
and also
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Are we eventually going to get to space aliens and UFOs and shit in the Philadelphia experiment? What dielectric portal? What the hell is that? I'm calling bullshit here, Seraphim. Sorry. I mean, he seems like a nice enough guy, and you know, he's got some cool shit with lights and everything. But come on, now. Dielectric portal. Come on.
I don't buy that either. But what I see is the center is black. Okay, so
It looks
we don't,
black.
yeah. So we don't have any light in this place, right? And
yeah.
What is fascinating to me is are the line of lights around the magnet, which we call the magnetic field, right?
Sure.
So far, okay.
Yeah.
So we should, you know, ignore maybe some of his expression that might sound funny, and just to watch the thing.
Yeah, well, let's keep watching. I mean, you know, I'm not totally dismissing it, but it could be here that the ferrofluid between the glass, it's just too dense for light to get through here. I don't know. Let's go on though.
Look when you don't have the magnet under or on the ferrocell, the lightning of
it's ferrofluid.
On the glass
it
is
moves
equal
with the magnetism.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, a lot of things. Could be the ferrofluid. It could be the I can't think of the word, but you know, certain things when they're magnetized or electrified, the slits don't let the light through. You know what I'm saying? Could be a lot of that. Who knows? Let's continue though. Let's watch it.
I'm just playing devil's
advocate
in this case, and I like it. Yeah.
You're good at it.
Yeah, advocate.
You were good at it. All right, let's go.
There we go. Move it over here, and I'll show you how big.
Okay.
See how huge the black hole is, or the black section.
Right.
Of the dielectric portal is on this powerful magnet. And also, too, you could see, if I can get a little bit better focus, the concentric circles. You actually see shades. It goes from black to dark red to orange to lighter orange to almost yellow. This is the magnet that will very quickly. Also, too, you can see these bright points right here.
Yep.
You see that? You see how quickly it's destroying the cell? This is what I mean by burn in. It's not literally burnt. It's just literally causing. This is why I have to take the supercell apart when you use really powerful magnets. But let me move this cord over a little bit. Sorry about that. Here we go.
Yeah. Yep.
This is all in real time. Like I said, this
So
is
we're changing the refractive index of the ferrofluid with a magnet. Okay.
That's correct.
Not really a big deal. It's cool. Looks nice. But come on now. Come on, Seraphim. We're changing the refractive index of the material because of the magnet. Right? No?
Well, not okay. That I take your
no, I
word
mean, you
for
don't
it.
have to answer now. I mean, just think about it. Just we're pointing it out.
Yeah,
Again,
sure.
not coming at you, man. Let's watch the rest of it. But this looks like a classic kind of
free energy kind of engine thing. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, there's a hole there. But their magnet is here. There's ferrofluid between two plates of glass. One might expect that there would be a void here where there wouldn't be anything coming through. Okay, shall we continue? Go to the end.
Yeah, sure. He saved the best for last.
Okay, good. Yeah, here we go.
Not a projection device. There's nothing being fed into this. There's nothing inside this black casing other than 2 pieces of glass, a 50th of a drop of liquid.
And again, I have it slowed down to 75%, so he's not drunk, right? Just sounds like so. Okay, go ahead.
And these Lowe's Home Depot LEDs, which are shooting light into the cell.
Yeah.
And if I get really steep on it, you can actually see the holographic nature of the cell. I can't leave it sitting there for that long because that I'll just have to rebuild the cell. That's no problem. Let's save the best for last.
All right, here we go.
And sorry about the jittery video, but I'm obviously doing this handheld. Let me use this neodymium iron boron ring magnet. I think it's like a 10 millimeter thick or 5 millimeter thick neodymium, really powerful sucker. Let me place it on here. We'll zoom in and let you take a look as I scoot it.
Yep.
Let me get deep low on it right here. There we go.
All right.
Take a look.
Okay.
For a little savings, Specialist Miller buys in bulk. For a lot of...
Come on now.
See, there's nothing in the middle of this magnet, but you still see the dielectric portal, this little black spot right here in the middle, hovering where nothing is. Magnets, by the way, do not accelerate towards one another. What they do is they accelerate towards the lowest pressure mediation of a dielectric acceleration. Let's actually place the ring magnet underneath the supercell.
Yep.
And show you what is. Let you take a look. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, this ring magnet will quickly fry this supercell. It's already frying it, actually. I'll lift off of it.
Yep.
You can actually see the burn marks. It's only about 5 minutes to rebuild it. And the liquid doesn't cost anything. Not really. Since it only takes a few drops to build one. Big deal. It's like rebuild it. But look at the magnetoholography. If you actually had this in your hand, you'd be surprised. Now look at this. If I get it on a steep angle, even though you don't have this in your hands and you can't see what it is I'm talking about, look at the holographic depth. You actually have this trough, sloping towards this null point.
Yeah.
Where the entire, and of course the magnetic field of the ring magnet is the exact same geometry, even though larger and more perfect. They're both toroidal. The ring magnet, of course, is a toroid, but the magnetic field is also a toroid, and that's actually one of the reasons why ring magnets destroy the supercells so quickly. I lift off of there, you see the burn marks. There we go.
Yeah.
What you're looking at is the face of Mother Nature here. Magnetism is everything, the volume inside the balloon, the air inside the balloon of everything in the universe that has magnitude and mass. Things only have magnitude due to magnetism. And what the hell defines a A black hole is where dielectricity, just like this super powerful magnet, except a really poor analogy, is where dielectricity overthrows magnetism's ability to keep something within the visible universe. If I were to, which I can't, pump up the dielectric power of this little tiny magnet like a billionfold, it would literally vanish from the universe. It would not be there anymore. I would actually still have the same field. Well, it'd be a lot different than this. It'd actually all look black with maybe some light fringes around the edge. But when I lifted the supercell off, of course, the supercell would get sucked into it, right? Because it would be a black hole. It would not be there. Because the only thing that actually keeps this physical magnet in the visible universe is magnetism only.
Okay, I'm done with this. This is fucking bullshit.
Okay.
Sorry. This is bullshit. Come on now.
Well, it's still more funny than talking about feminism all the time.
It is funny. Yes. No, I like it. Thank you. Seraphim, he knows what's going on. So, but assuming this is real, let's assume that, Seraphim.
Okay.
Yeah,
what is the benefit of this magnet show with LEDs and ferrofluid? I don't get it. How is this going to benefit humanity? What are we going to do? Be able to drive flying cars? Or we're going to do what? Fly to Alpha Centauri? Or what? What's the point?
Obviously, it's invisibility, James.
Like a cloak? Like a Harry Potter?
Yeah, like if we were to get like really powerful magnetic clothes, we could become invisible and leave the physical universe.
We can make us into a black hole.
Right. It'd be like, maybe we might be able to teleport somewhere through the magnetic portal.
I love being trolled. This is fucking hilarious. Seraphim, you some bitch. I love it. Right, here we go. Yeah! A silly donkey goes away.
Down on the farm where the sun hits the hay, there's a critter that rides like day. He ain't no horse, he ain't no cows, my silly old donkey going hee-haw. Hee-haw! He ain't too smart, but he's full of charm with them big floppy ears at the old red barn. Every morning when I wake at dawn, my silly old donkey out on the lawn. Oh, hee-haw, hee-haw, making me laugh. Hee-haw, hee-haw. Your gate is awkward calf. Ain't no trouble, just joy he brings. My silly old donkey, in the fields he sings.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Neighbors complain about the noise he makes, but he's the best mistake I could ever embrace. With his head so high and his teeth are showing, that hee-haw sound keeps the fun going. At supper time, he's first in line. Got a face and a heart that always shine. When the day's done and the stars draw near, his hee-haw echoes sweet music to hear. Oh, hee-haw, hee-haw, making me laugh. With that clumsy old gait and his awkward calf. Ain't no trouble, just joy he brings. My silly old donkey, in the fields he sings. Oh, hee-haw, hee-haw, making me laugh. With that clumsy old gait and his awkward calf. Ain't no trouble, just joy he brings. My silly old donkey, in the fields he sings.
And whoever did that.
The most important thing is family. AAA shares the same family values. For over 100 years, AAA has been providing legendary service and has helped what it values most, its members. Join our family, and you could save on your auto insurance.
It's fucking, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was fucking excellent.
Glad you
I ain't gonna stop laughing for weeks. That was good. All right, you fucking assholes. Oh God, Seraphim.
Well, look, James, I think that Ken might be right. and I give him the benefit of the doubt because I could reproduce, the same experiment at home at that point.
I could too.
Now, the other thing I read the chat. I read the chat, and Chaos said something interesting. No.
My donkey's got a donkey in his pants. You fucks. I love you both. That was fun.
Yeah, but look, read the Chaos for you comment about Sam.
Yes. True Blood and Seraphim is here. And they shortly will not be because I was trolled like a bitch. And I fell for the whole fucking thing. Oh my God. This is probably the best stream I've ever done. That was fucking fantastic. Thank you guys. All right, boys. I got to go get some lunch. And the trolling shall stop now. You bastards. Come back again soon. Oh, it's fucking great. I'm going to have to figure out a way to chop that up because that was fucking great. Excellent. You guys take care. God
Thanks,
bless
guys.
you atheist bastard from hell.
Don't call me like this.
And Brandon is going to do a live stream from Chicago with Polska Bob. And we're going to talk about pierogi because that's what we do. See you guys later.
All right.
Fucking
Next
excellent
one.
troll. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.